Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. Dimension X. Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown Dimension X? It was in the year of 1982 that spacemen first discovered the Great Galactic Barrier. In the past 10 years, rocket travel to the moon and the nearer planets had become commonplace. And then men fixed their sights on a more distant star, the remote planet known as Volta. 5 exploratory ships went out, and none came back, each in turn disappearing mysteriously at the same vanishing point, an invisible wall somewhere in the vast outer reaches that became known as the wrecker of spaceships, the Galactic Reef. And yet, the explorers refused to admit defeat. It was on June the 2nd, 1987, that the rocket Star Cloud made ready for takeoff, the 6th to attempt to crack the barrier and win through to Volta.
Now hear this. Condition blue. 1 minute till blast off. Now hear this. Condition blue. 1 minute till blast off.
Bridge to nav control.
Navigation, Collier.
This is Captain Thorson. Ready, Lieutenant?
We're ready, Captain. The course is in the integrator for takeoff at 1200 hours.
All right, stand by for acceleration. Bridge to engine room. Fire up your rocket chambers. Take off at exactly 1200 hours. I'll read you off. 30 seconds. 29. 28. 27. 26.
Condition red.
Hold it. Revoke all orders. Who turned in that alarm?
We've uncovered a stowaway, sir.
Stowaway where?
I think it's sick bay. Dr. Spitzlin found him.
Have him brought up to the bridge. Engine room. Kill your rocket. Stand by.
Thorson, this is Colonel Harrison at ground control. What's holding you up?
Trouble.
What's the matter with you?
What's the matter with you? There's stowaway aboard.
Stowaway?
Yes, I thought your men were supposed to police this space. What's the
All
matter with
right, Captain. Take it easy.
you? You know what this delay can do to us, don't you? 1 minute later takeoff can throw us 1,000,000 miles off course. We'll have to reintegrate the whole works.
Well, look, how long do you think it'll take?
Don't bother me for a while. I'm busy here. Stupid idiot. Come in.
Here's your stowaway, sir.
Our court martial. Charlie.
Can you use a good radio man, Skipper?
Oh, I see you two have met.
Met. The Skipper and me made 50 trips to the moon together. Didn't we, Captain?
Charlie, if you wanted to come along, why didn't you volunteer?
I did, Skipper. They turned me down.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, acceleration bends. They said my arteries wouldn't stand another trip.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But they're wrong, sir. I got one more good trip in me. Now, listen, Captain. You know these green kids don't know the first thing about space radio operation. You put a man like me on, and I'll be getting you bedtime stories from Mars.
Well, you know the regulations as well as I do, Charlie. I can't take you much as I'd like to.
Colonel Harrison will murder me for this.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I put you aground. Tell you what, Charlie. I'll ask Harrison to put you on his ground radio contact. It'll seem as if you're right here with us.
He won't do it, sir.
He'd better. I'll have him busted to corporal for letting you sneak aboard. You'll be better off, Charlie. Paulison,
Yes, sir.
I'm sending a man down from the bridge. Put him aground. Give him time to clear the launching platform.
Yes, sir.
So long, Charlie. Sorry.
Well, good luck, Skipper.
I thought you were going to have him drawn and quartered.
And anybody else, I would have, Smitty. But Charlie, well, Charlie's kind of special. He's been with me since my first command. We began the regular run to the moon. If he wanted to come along this time, well, it's only through loyalty to me.
You know, Lewis, I didn't realize it before, but you're almost human.
Navigation. Lieutenant Collier.
Nav control, Collier.
Lieutenant, how badly we fouled up. Can you recalculate the course, or shall I cancel the takeoff?
I've already plotted a new course on the integrator, sir.
Oh, that's quick work. Are you sure?
Positive, sir.
All right, Collier. Putting it in your hands. We'll blast off in your signal.
Lewis, isn't that a lot of responsibility for a young green officer?
Yeah, but if he can't do his job, I'd rather find out now than at the Galactic Barrier. Bridge to engine room. Ready your rockets. Prepare to blast off on navigator's signal. How are we doing, Collier?
Coming on the bearing, sir. 4, 3, 2, 0. We've intersected the course vector.
That's good work, Collier.
Course is corrected, sir. Ready to go into atomic overdrive anytime you say.
All right, stand by. Now hear this. Prepare for maximum acceleration. Bridge to engine room. Kill your rockets.
Rockets out.
Fire up number 1 cyclotron.
Number 1 ready.
Fire up number 2.
Number 2 ready.
Engineering, withdraw your dampening rods.
Fission chamber ready. Blast tubes are clear.
Ready. Take it on overdrive. How are we doing, Collier?
On course, sir. She's running hot and true.
Well, my compliments, Lieutenant. This job would have done your father credit. He was the best navigation officer I ever saw.
Thank you, sir.
Start your gyros, put her on robot control. All right, the ship is yours, Mr. Collier. If you need me, I'll be in Dr. Smithson's office.
Yes, sir.
I see you got us off the ground.
You can thank young Collier for that. Chip off the old block.
Oh, you knew his father, huh?
Matter of fact, I knew him very well. First-rate spaceman.
Is he the one who,
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, he was lost in the galactic barrier on the second ship we sent out to Volta.
Louis, just what do you think this galactic barrier is?
Your guess is as good as mine, Doc. All I know is that 5 ships have gone into it, and none of them have come back out.
You think it's in it. How about Mestrovic's theory that it's a time warp in space, but that the ships reach it and slip into another dimension?
I think that's rubbish. My theory is that the galactic barrier is nothing more than a radioactive layer of some kind.
What makes you say that?
Well, we know that radar signals bounce off it like they were hitting an invisible glass wall. We know it destroys our ships and our crews in some way. There's no other logical explanation.
What makes you think we can get through it?
Because we're ready for it. The others weren't. Entire hull is completely shielded with lead. We can crack through any radioactive cloud ever detected. Besides, we're equipped with some new UHF radio devices that should enable us to maintain radio contact with Earth. Nothing can happen. Absolutely nothing.
Who are you trying to convince, Louis?
Myself, I suppose. Smitty, 5 ships are missing. And men like Prentice and Margetson and young Collier's father. I'm tired of seeing good men fed into that meat chopper.
Then why are we going?
We haven't any choice, Smitty. We're in a race. The kind of race where men and ships are expendable.
Well, at least it won't be boring. I'll have to play physician morale builder and mother substitute for 112 slightly nervous men.
Your morale doesn't sound too good, Doctor.
As morale officer, I can state without fear of contradiction. It's terrible. And something tells me that as we approach that galactic barrier, I'm not going to be alone.
Hello, Earth. Hello, Earth. Captain Thorson of the Star Cloud calling Earth. Star Cloud to Earthbound. Can you read me?
Hello, Star Cloud. Hi, Captain.
Charlie! Well, I see they haven't court-martialed you yet.
No, sir. Thanks to you.
But, Charlie, it's good to hear you. You can read us the funny papers on Sunday morning.
Right.
How's the signal?
Strong. Clear the bell.
All right, here's our log report for Colonel Harrison. Ready?
Shoot.
June 2nd, 1987. 4 weeks out from Earth, running true, no radiation, operation normal, still making our approach to the galactic barrier. That's all, Charlie. See you later.
Good luck, Captain. I sure wish I was with you.
How's the morale, Smithy?
Well, the men know we're getting closer to the barrier. They're beginning to show a little tension, Louis.
How's their physical condition? Any sickness?
About half the crew has come down with space blues.
Badly?
Oh, same as usual. Lips and hands with a bluish cast. Eyes sensitive to infrared.
I don't know. When I first started flying these tin cans, nobody ever heard of space blue.
Well, there's a new theory that is caused by the terrific acceleration of these atomic overdrive ships. The change in gravity affects the circulation.
What do you think?
Oh, I think it's psychosomatic. I've noticed that the same men who get space blues under tension on a ship tend to get blue coloration back on Earth when they're upset. I guess it's an occupational disease of space navigators.
You think it's just nerves, then?
I don't know. But young Collier has a bad case. I think it's tension from overwork.
Maybe he needs some vitamins.
Lewis, when will you realize that vitamins are not the panacea for all the troubles of mankind?
Come in. Oh, Lieutenant Collins.
Sir, I understand you've relieved me from duty.
Dr. Smithson says that you aren't looking very well. I'm giving you a rest.
I feel perfectly able to continue, sir.
Your lips are as blue as Minnetonka.
I'd like to remain at my post, Captain.
Don't be foolhardy, Lieutenant.
I'm not being foolhardy, sir. I have a special personal reason for wanting this expedition to reach Volta.
Your father?
Yes, sir.
You think he might still be alive?
I have to find out what happened, sir.
I think I understand. Very well, Collier. Report back to duty. What's the reading, Paulson?
We're getting a +5 radar bounce now. It's coming off the barrier almost as fast as we send it out.
What's the interval?
0.3 of a second. Shortening steadily. At this rate, we'll hit the wall in the next few minutes.
All right, alert the crew. Sound general quarters.
Now hear this. Condition red. We are now approaching the galactic barrier. All hands to stations. All radiation detectors to be fully manned. Full security will prevail until further notice. That is all.
Paulson.
Aye, sir.
Radar bounces up to +6. We better try to make final contact with Earth. Spark's still trying to raise the base?
Yes, sir, but he's not having much luck. There seems to be some interference. That's the radio room now. Yes? You've got him? Cut in a bridge speaker. The captain will take it from here.
Hello. Star Cloud to Earthbound. Can you hear me, Earth?
Hello, Skipper. I can barely read you. We're getting heavy static from sunspots.
That's not sunspots. We're right on top of the galactic barrier. Stick with us, Charlie. We're switching to the automatic sender now so you can track us in.
Okay.
If we crack the barrier and come through still in one piece, I'll try to get back to you on the high-frequency band.
Gotcha, Skipper. Don't worry. I'll be waiting.
So long, Charlie.
So long, Star Cloud.
We must be getting awfully close now, Captain. The echo's bouncing back so fast it's almost beating the signal.
When they coincide, hold onto your hat. That's when we run into the wall.
Any second.
Hold on.
Well, here goes nothing.
Here it comes.
Captain,
Why nothing happened?
we made it. We made it, Captain. No radiation, no time warp, no nothing. The crew's gone crazy, sir.
Let them. They earned it. Say, Doc, can you break out a few bottles of snake bite serum for medicinal purposes?
I sure can, Lewis.
This calls for a celebration. How's your morale now?
Couldn't be better. How's yours?
Condition
Hey, what?
red. Radiation detected. Condition red. Radiation detected.
Good. Holy mackerel. Look at the needle on that indicator.
Paulson.
I see it, Captain. We're picking radiation like crazy.
What's it like?
It's a strong wave.
What kind is it?
I don't know. It's too long for a cosmic ray and too short for UHF.
All right, track it down. Triangulate it. Make it fast. I want a directional fix.
Yes, sir.
Engine room.
Yes, sir.
We're picking up radioactivity. Is it the fission chambers?
No leaks, sir.
Check your gauges.
Nothing here, Captain. Must be coming from outside.
Damage control.
Yes, sir.
Is our lead shield leaking radiation?
Haven't found anything yet, sir.
All right, keep at it. Paulson, how you doing?
I've got a fix,
Well,
Captain.
what is it?
I have to recheck my figures.
Well, hurry up.
The angle is correct, but I don't...
Come on, man, for Pete's sake.
It's right, sir.
What's right? Speak up. Where's the radiation coming from?
It's coming from inside the ship.
That's impossible.
No, sir. I've checked it twice.
Now then, there's only one thing left to do. Paulson, get a Geiger counter. We're going to start combing the ship inch by inch.
Ready, sir.
All right, turn it on now.
Yes, sir.
We'll check the atomic guns first. Cut through the officers' quarters to ordnance. Come on.
Wait a minute, sir.
What is it?
Signal's weaker now.
Let's go back. Hold it. Seems strongest right about here.
It doesn't make sense.
Whose cabin is it?
Lieutenant Collier's.
Collier!
It's probably down in nav control, sir.
Try the door.
It's not locked, sir. It's in here, all right. Listen to that counter. Strongest over here.
Open that wall cabinet.
It's locked.
Smash it. All right, shut off the Geiger counter. What do you make of this, Pollinson?
It looks like some sort of portable transmitter, sir. Must be foreign manufacture. I don't recognize the calibration symbols at all. Never seen anything like it.
Which raises a small question. What is Lieutenant Collier doing with a transmitter in his cabin?
I don't know, sir.
Well, I intend to find out, Paulson. Get down to nav control. Bring Collier up to the bridge on the double.
Well, hadn't we better find some way to shut this thing off first?
I know a way. Lieutenant Collier, I'm going to ask a few simple questions, and I want a few simple answers.
Yes, sir.
What were you doing with a transmitter in your cabin?
Transmitter, Captain?
You know nothing about it?
No, sir, I don't.
Do you recognize these calibration symbols?
No, sir.
Can you think of how it might have been placed in your cabin without your knowing it?
No, sir. Unless someone came in while I was on duty.
Would that have been possible?
Why, I suppose if someone had a key...
I found your cabin door unlocked.
I meant a key to the wall cabinet.
I didn't say the wall cabinet.
Well, sir,
You what, Lieutenant? How could you have known it was in the wall cabinet?
I just assumed.
Lieutenant Collier, I find it hard to believe you would lie. Having known and respected your father and having observed the way you handled your job. However, I intend to get to the root of this thing. May I have your wristwatch, Lieutenant?
Sir?
Your wristwatch.
Yes, sir.
Paulison, turn on that Geiger counter.
Yes, sir.
Hold this watch next to it.
Yes, sir.
That's all. Lieutenant, if you hadn't any close contact with that transmitter, how would you explain the radioactivity of this watch?
I don't, sir.
I think you'd better. To whom were you sending those signals?
Condition red. Condition red.
There's your answer, Captain.
What is this, Collier?
Alien spaceship approaching. Alien spaceship approaching.
Sound battle stations. Collier, who's aboard that ship? All right, now talk, man.
Very well, Captain. My mission seems complete.
Your mission? Are you admitting that you're an agent of a foreign power?
I am stating it.
What nation?
No nation, Captain.
What?
I am an agent of the Voltan government.
The what?
The government of the planet of Volta.
You're crazy.
Are you so stupid that you think your people are the only ones who can invade another planet?
What do you mean?
We've had agents operating on Earth since 1945.
I don't believe you.
What do you think happened to those 5 ships, Captain? Where do you suppose we got our information, your language, your culture, family background?
But your appearance, you look...
Like Commander Collier? Is that so surprising, Captain? We had a living model.
I ought to kill you.
That would be very foolish. I would advise you to surrender without delay.
Alien ship now coming in ordnance range.
I'll deal with you later, Collier. Paulison,
Sir?
put this man in irons. Take him away.
Don't worry, sir. We'll take good care of him. Carpenter! Robinson!
Gunnery,
Gunnery Richardson.
what's the range?
10,000 meters. Are closing fast.
Put your guns on radar tracking.
Tracking. Coming on a burn.
Fire. Fire. Richardson, you hear me? Fire. What's the matter down there? Did you hear me? Richardson, answer me.
It's no use to shout, Captain.
Collier,
Yes, Captain.
how'd you get loose? Where's Paulison?
Lieutenant Paulison is dead.
All stations. Lieutenant Collier has escaped. Seize him, man.
Don't waste your breath. Your men can't hear you, Captain.
What?
Those still alive are my men.
You're lying.
No, Captain. Every ship that has ever left Earth was controlled by a Voltan crew.
That's impossible. Those were hand-picked men.
Handpicked by us.
I don't believe you.
Then why not call for help?
Carpenter, Robinson, Haley, report. Carpenter, Robinson.
You see, Captain, it is quite useless. I would advise you to sit very quietly and do nothing.
It isn't possible. They can't all be dead. Smitty! Dr. Smithson! Smitty, Smitty, what have they done to you?
Louis,
Oh, those dirty... Don't talk, Smitty.
closer. Not much time. Louis, space blues.
Space blues. What is it, Smitty? What are you trying to tell me?
All men with space blues. Voltans.
Here, let me help you, Smitty.
No, Louis. Get message back to Earth. Voltan. 5th column. Watch out for space blues.
Smitty. Smitty.
Hello? Hello? Star Cloud calling Earthbound.
Please, God, let me get through before it's too late.
Hello, Star Cloud to Earthbound. Come in, please. Come in, please.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, Charlie?
Skipper, is that you?
Are you getting my signal?
It's coming in a little louder now, Skip. Keep sending.
Great God, Charlie, now listen to me. Not much time. It's word to Colonel Harrison. Crew mutinied. Most of crew members, Voltan.
What?
Voltan.
Spell that.
V-O-L.
Voltan.
That's right, they're from the planet Volta.
Skipper, are you all right?
Charlie, this is serious. They'll be here any second now. Listen, they have a 5th column on Earth. They're planning to invade you.
You don't mean it.
Of course I mean it. Tell Harrison that they're posing as humans. You can detect them by space blues. You got that? Only Voltons get space blues. Charlie, do you hear me?
Space Blue. I get you.
Step back in, Charlie. I'm depending on you now. Warn everybody.
Captain!
They open the door. Go on, Charlie.
Captain! Captain Thorson! Hello! Hello, Star Cloud, come in!
What's the trouble, Sergeant?
We're just trying to raise the Star Cloud, Colonel.
Had any luck?
No, sir. No contact.
No contact?
No, sir.
Nearly an hour since they hit the galactic barrier. I don't understand why they haven't tried to get back a message.
No, sir. Neither do I.
All right. I'll take over for a while.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead, sir.
You'd better go out and get yourself some coffee. Charlie, you look a little blue around the gills.
You have just heard No Contact, an adventure in time, space, and the unknown. Dimension X.
Next week, we have a nice, blood-curdling little story that starts with these two sentences. The last man alive on Earth sat alone in a room. And then there was a knock on the door, which raises the question, what knocked on the door? Left to its own devices, the human mind supplies a vaguely horrible answer. But it wasn't so horrible. Really. You'll see next week when we present Knock.
Tonight, Dimension X has presented No Contact, an original story written by George Lefferts, from the storyline by Lefferts and Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes as Captain Thorson, Lawson Zerby as Lieutenant Collier, and John McGovern as Dr. Smithson. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. Tomorrow, hear Sam Spade. Now it's Truth or Consequences on NBC.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in time and space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
This is a story of Riesling, the singer of the spaceways. You've probably sung his songs in school, in English, French, or German. The language doesn't matter, but it was an earth tongue. But the real story of Riesling is not found in the footnotes of a scholar's critique or a publisher's biography. It is in the memories of the old-time spacemen, the pioneers who pushed the thundering old-fashioned rockets to the far, strange ports that are our commonplace heritage. These men know the true story of Riesling.
The arctic sky is calling spacemen back to their trade. All hands stand by, free falling, and the lights below us fade. Outride the sons of terror, far drives the thundering jet, up leaps the race of earthmen, out far and onward yet.
When I first met Riesling, he was hustling drinks in the Twin Moons bar at Drywater, Mars. He won a guitar off a Chinese barkeep at Luna City by cheating at one thumb, and he made his whiskey by singing in the bar and passing the hat.
Listen to her, Hudson. Don't she strum pretty? Like a 16-year-old gal.
Say, how much you collect on that last song?
$3 Martian and a slug. Al grabbed it from my bill. You don't trust me no more. Funny, never did have no luck with hound dogs and a Martian barkeep.
Hey, Riesling, look over there by the bar. There's an Institute 4 striper giving you the eye. Know him?
Captain Hicks off the Goshawk.
He's sure giving you the once-over. Maybe he's got a job.
They don't make never no mind to me. I've been blacklisted. Hicks logged me for making up a song on watch. Right fine song, too.
Hold it. Here comes the brass arm.
Riesling, I've been looking for you.
I've been right here, Skipper. You saw to that.
I need a jetman on the Goshawk.
Interesting. Real interesting.
Well?
I got news for you, Skipper. You blacklisted me, remember?
Well, you kept your nose clean, and we need an experienced man.
Been a little changing down aft in the Goshawk, ain't there, Skipper?
How'd you know that?
We got that new atomic pile drive. Last three of them tea kettles blew somewhere in the asteroids.
Look, it's double pay, but if you're scared...
Scared? Listen, fella. For double pay, I'd jump off the top of the Harriman Tower if you allowed me rubber heels for the landing.
All right, then. You show up tonight to sign the book. Sober.
Got no choice, Skipper. Money and me is total strangers.
We lift at 11:30 Mars time. Sober, you understand, Riesling?
You taking the job?
Well, that Goshawk is one stinking old tub. Her engine's got more bugs than a beagle dog in spring. And that new drive is about as safe as a pretty gal in the Ozarks. But I reckon she'll do for one more trip. Welcome home, Riesling. Hi, Jimmy Legs. Meet my friend Hertzman. He's signing on as a wiper. This here's Jimmy Legs Casey. He's bosun. Can't hold his liquor no more than a sieve, poor boy. Riesling, you sober enough to sign the book? Drunk or sober, I'll make my mark. Stand aside. 3 X's? It took me a middle name. Yeah, you two lay below. And Hertzman.
Aye, sir.
Get him sobered up before the skipper makes rounds. Jimmy Legs, I'm sober as a hanging judge. Yeah? Well, you can leave that bottle here. What bottle? The one in your back pocket. Oh, glass buttons, maybe, eh? Give it here. Jimmy Legs, I swear I'm going to write a song about you. Go ahead, threaten me. Now get below. We raise ship in 30 minutes. Hi, Skipper.
Riesling, what the devil are you doing up here on the bridge without permission?
Figured I'd take a little stroll.
Riesling, get below before I have...
Hold on, Skipper. You'll have that gold braid just crawling up your arm. I'm up here on business.
Well?
That number 2 jet ain't fit. Cadmium dampers are warped.
Why tell me? Tell the chief engineer.
I did. He says they'll hold.
Well?
He's wrong.
He's wrong. He's got a Harriman Institute degree in power electronics. And some drunk space rat says he's wrong.
Skipper, I was damping jets when that shirt-tailed tad wore pins for buttons.
I've got no time for you, Riesling. Casey, sit down, take off.
Aye, sir. I'm telling you, Skipper, that number 2 jet's gonna blow. Dampers warped crooked like a turtle's back.
Riesling, drag your deadhead out of here. Get below.
Go ahead from control tower, Captain.
All right, Casey. Fire 1 and 4.
Had to blast for 3 watches before going into free flight. Riesling and I had the second watch. Damping was done by hand in those days with a multiplying vernier and a danger peeper. And as long as the peeper ticked off slow and steady, we knew the ship was safe. For a while. Hey, Riesling, you better stow that guitar. If Jimmy Legs catches it, he'll blow a gasket.
Don't worry, I can damp this tea kettle in my sleep.
How's number 2?
All right so far. You ever hear that song about Hicks, the one that got me blacklisted?
Oh, the skipper is the father of his crew, a gentle guiding light to me and you. But on Mars he likes his women if they walk or if they're swimming, or if they've got 6 arms instead of 2.
Hey, the second verse is better.
Now the skipper likes his liquor by the quart. Yes, he'd go from Mars to Venus for a snort. He'll drink rocket fuel and...
Hell, hi, Skipper. Didn't see you come in.
You were too busy, eh? Who's watching the gauge?
I got an eye on it. Don't you fret none.
Riesling, I'm going to fix it so you can't get a berth on a rocket-powered pogo stick. Report to Casey under arrest.
I don't rightly think I will.
You what?
You kind of forget, Skipper. According to Space Code, you can't remove a jetman until the end of the watch, right?
Now, look, you corn-fed space lawyer.
Now, is that a rule or ain't it?
Riesling, your shift is over at 2300. And I'll see you ride the rest of the way in slop locker.
Maybe. Maybe. In the meantime, you clear out of my power room. I gotta make me up a 3rd verse for my song.
I got it. Power room.
Damp number 2 a point.
Number 2, all right.
Hey, let me have that mic. Jimmy Legs, is that forced dry boil up there?
Give me that, Casey. Riesling, I've taken just about enough from
And
you.
I've got a little news for you, Skipper. Number 2 jet is bulging like a fat lady in a satin skirt.
Listen, you clown, that's it.
Skipper, I think I'm gonna junk my song and start over. I could do much better
This
on
is
you.
the last time, Riesling. Damp number 2 a point.
Sure. Look out, Hurt. I'll take it. You watch the gauge. Now. I need to hear. She's bucking a little. Riesling, hit the emergency. She won't damp. It's that boy. There go the lights. Riesling, stay down behind the back. I've got to take a look. It's radioactive. Look out. I've got a piece of hot stuff under the tube.
What's going on down there?
Shut up, Jimmy Legs. I'm busy. Hey, she's tight now.
What happened?
Number 2 blew, you lunk-headed space rat.
You all right?
A little sunburn. The lights are gone. What's the matter with the emergency circuits?
Riesling.
Jimmy Legs, get some lights down here. It's dark. Get the emergency light on.
They're on, Riesling. They went on after the blast. The lights are on.
What are you talking about? Jimmy Legs. Jimmy Legs, turn on the lights. It's dark. Turn on the lights.
That blue radioactive glow from the jets was the last thing Riesling ever saw. His optic nerve was burned out in an instant. He was in sick bay on the rest of the trip, and on the swing back, we sat Riesling down at dry water Mars. Look out for the cable, Riesling.
Thanks, Richard.
Hey, Riesling.
That you, Jimmy Legs?
hold up a minute, will you? Oh, Riesling.
Jimmy Legs, I promised I'd write a song about you, didn't I?
Sure, Riesling, sure.
Can't seem to sing like you used to.
Look, Riesling, the men up in the bridge feel kind of bad about this.
Yeah? Why didn't they think of that when Riesling told them that Damper was shot?
Now, Hertzman, that's all over.
Sure. That's all forgotten. Riesling, let's get down to the Twin Moons before I vomit.
Now, hold it. The skipper feels pretty bad about the whole thing, Riesling.
Kind of late for that, Jimmy Legs. Feeling sorry don't hold no corn.
The boys passed the hat. The skipper kicked in half a month's pay.
Did he now? Then on principle, I suppose I ought to tell him to stuff it back up their jets. But you can't buy no drinking whiskey on principle. I'll take it.
Here you are. I'll get it. I'll be seeing you, Riesling.
Sure, Jimmy Lee. Sure. Come on, Hertzman. Let's get that drink.
That was all. Just another space bum who didn't have the good sense to finish before his luck ran out. Well, Riesling holed up at the Twin Moons till his money was gone. Then he hooked a ride on a crawler over to Marsopolis. It was a boom town then, with an industrial district mushrooming between the Lesser and Grand Canals. I ran into Riesling about 2 months later, playing his guitar on a jetty that ran out into the canal. He had a dirty rag tied over his eyes with a jetman's knot, and his hat was on the wharf beside him.
Riesling! Who's that? Wait a minute. Hertzman.
Yeah, how you been?
Passable? Hey, is this a Venusian dime?
Ah, it's a slug.
I figured.
Well, how's it going? Singing again?
Some. Working saloons, mostly. I've been thinking some funny songs, Hertzman. The words come out different than they used to. Come on along the canal with me.
Sure. Here, take my arm.
I know the way. That's a funny thing, Hertzman. I figure I know it better than other folks. Look back there, towards the city. What do you see?
Factory towers. Smell them from here.
But it don't seem that way to me. I remember them old buildings, old before Bible times on Earth. Thin and graceful like the fairy palaces my Grammy used to tell about down home in the hills.
Well, they've torn them down now, or else blocked them up with cinder bricks.
Hertzman, when I stand out here on the canal, I can see it the way it used to be. The water, ice blue with the stars shining up out of it. Way off there, the city with the towers sweeping up like a bird flying off a tree. I can see it.
It's the dirtiest stinkhole in the system.
Not always. Depends on how you see it.
Bone tide the race that raised the towers, forgotten are their lores. Long gone the gods who shed the tears that lap these crystal shores. Slow beats the time-worn heart of Mars beneath this icy sky. The thin air whispers voicelessly that all who live must die.
You make that up. Why don't you go home, Riesling?
Home? Earth. I've been thinking about that, Hertzman. When I was a youngster down in the Ozarks, I used to climb a big old oak tree my daddy had in the dooryard. You could see the hills for miles, green and cool. I've been thinking about that.
Why don't you go back then?
I couldn't see them hills no more now. I couldn't stand to see black when I knew they was lying all around me, cool and green in the sun. I couldn't stand that.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to town, Hertzman. Today I made $3.50 mush, and I'm all set to drink it down before dawn. Come on!
I lost track of Riesling after that. I shipped out on a slow freight of the Condor class for Luna, and he hitchhiked a ride to Venusburg on an ore ship in a tri-planet run. So he beat around the system. Venusburg to Layport to Drywater to New Shanghai and back. Any spaceport was his home, and no skipper had refused to lift the extra mass of Riesling and his battered guitar. He made up his songs, sitting out watches down in the power rooms with old shipmates, while the monotonous beat of the jets shook the hull plates.
Hear the jets,
hear the jets,
hear them snarl at your back when you're stretched on the rack. Hear the jets, feel the pain in your ship, feel the strain in your grip.
Hear the jets,
feel the rise, feel the drive, strands steel come alive on a jet.
Little by little, his songs began to travel along the spaceways ahead of him. Raw spaceman songs with titles like Since the Pusher Met My Cousin and The Spacesuit Built for Two. But more and more, we began to hear a different kind of song. Strange, sad songs, the ones you find printed in the centennial editions. Dark Star Passing, Death Song of a Woods Cove. And then, finally, The Green Hills of Earth. It grew for 20 years, that song. They say it started way back when Riesling was down in the labor camps on Venus, singing for the indentured men.
Now, if someone will kindly pass a bottle.
Oh, it is not much, Riesling. Here.
It'll do. What is that stuff?
Tequila. You cannot make him good here on Venus.
What do you use?
Carac bush. Home it is different.
Where are you from, son?
Tasco, Mexico.
That's a long way from here.
See, a long way.
How'd you come to sign on?
The man comes out to the village from the city in a shining automobile, very big. He says there is work. You signed the paper for 10 years and you work. Yeah, work. There is work here, all right. 10 stinking hours in the jungle with machete. I tell you, when I get home to Earth.
What'll you do, son?
What is the use? We aren't getting home. You know how many men die out there in the swamp today? 10 men, 10! What is the use? My mother, she's dead. My father don't care.
A girl?
Oh, she says she wait. I don't know.
Sure, son.
You sing some more, Riesling. We drink, you sing.
Maybe a new song, son.
We rot in the molds of Venus, we regurgitated breath. Foul are her flooded jungles, a-crawling with unclean death.
What is the matter? Finish the song, Riesling.
I can't. Can't yet. It just don't come. I'll finish it when I go home. That's it. When I go home to the hills. Now, pass that bottle. The dawn whistle don't blow for 4 hours.
That's where the Green Hills started. And I was there when it was finished. It was 20 years after that. And there wasn't a man flying or on the beach hadn't heard of Riesling and his songs. He was getting old now for a spaceman. He was a familiar figure through the whole system. Tall, gaunt, and with that dirty bandage tied across his blind eyes. I was chief jetman then on the old Falcon. We were cradled at Venus Alice Isle, scheduled for a direct jump to Great Lakes, Illinois, on Earth. I was checking in dunnage when Riesling felt his way up the gangway and came through the lock.
Riesling! Who's that?
Mike Hertzman.
Hertzman.
Well, what are you doing on this old hog?
I figured I'd ride her back to Earth.
Earth? Are you going home, Riesling? I thought you were never going to make that run.
I've been hankering to set foot in the Ozarks again.
How about those hills?
I've been singing about them so long now, Hertzman. I got to finish the song. I got to set foot in the dooryard and hear the wind through that oak tree. About the last thing I'll be doing. I got to get home before...
Riesling, there's a new company policy.
You see, Hertzman, I'm getting just a little old.
Riesling, listen. No more deadhead rides. The new code book is in force.
Oh, I seen code books come and go.
The skipper's one of them youngsters fresh out of Harriman Institute cadet training. He's liable to throw the book at you.
At me? I've been around space as long as Halley's Comet and Brewster's Ridge. I'm going back to Earth, the cool green hills of Earth. I'm going home.
All secured, Hertzman. What are you doing here? That's Riesling, Captain.
Riesling, huh? I'm dragging it back to Earth, Captain.
Not in this ship. Hertzman, have this man removed.
Funny thing, Captain, I sprained my shoulder sudden.
Look, Skipper, you're a youngster. You're pretty new out here. I'm going home. You don't know what that means to an old man, going home.
I can't take you. Against the Harriman Code.
Oh, now look, Skipper. You can slide me by to the distressed spaceman's clause in that code book.
Distressed spaceman, my eye. Been bumming around the system for 30 years.
Skipper, you make me do something I never done for no one before. I'm an old man. An old blind man, and I want to go home. I ain't never crawled in front of a four-striper in my life, but you gotta let me drag home. The law says a man's got a trip coming to him. You can stretch for a poor old blind man, now can't you? You got it, Skipper.
All right, you old space rat. But keep out of the way. I run an efficient ship, and I don't want any trouble.
No, sir, no trouble. I'll just lay down to the power room. I kind of like to be near the jets when they blast off. For Earth.
Sit down, Riesling. Take a load off your feet.
Thanks, man.
Stand by for lift. Stand by.
Best seat in the system. Power room and an old Hawk class ship.
Power room, fire 3.
Aye, sir.
The cool green hills of Earth.
Still singing that, Riesling?
Oh, some. I changed her a little. Going to finish her now, Mac. Going home to finish her.
Yeah. Have you seen those new automatic dampers, Riesling? Don't have to do nothing but sit and watch.
Where's the peeper?
Turned off. She's all automatic.
You have it soft nowadays. When I was twisting her tail, you had to stay awake. You got an old hand damping plates on?
All but the links. Iron ship them, they cover up the dials.
You might need them.
No, the automatics handle. Finally going home, Riesling, huh? Won't seem the same out past the moon.
I've been waiting for this a long time, man. Gonna be good to get home, I reckon.
The argent sky is calling spacemen back.
Hey, Mac, you all right? I got the emergency. The hand dampers, grab the links. Mac, if you're on the wall here, something. I got it.
Power room, what's the alarm? Emergency squad coming in.
Stay out, the place is hot. Radiation blast.
Stay behind the baffle.
I got the link shipped. I can hand damper now.
What's going on in there?
I'm still in Jet 3.
Is this McDougal?
McDougal is dead. This is Riesling on watch.
Riesling, get out of there. You'll kill yourself.
Don't worry, Skipper. I know this power room like the inside of my shirt. Somebody's got a damper.
Riesling, I'm sending in a crew.
No use. The whole room will be hot for an hour and the other jets won't hold. Skipper, throw on the recording tape.
What?
Throw on the recording tape. I want to get something down.
Tape's on, Riesling. Stop it, Riesling. The radiation will burn you down.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, pretty sharp sunburn. Pick me out of here with the tongs and bury me in a lead shield coffin. Okay, Skipper. She's clean. Radiation's getting brighter. I can almost see it. Bright, rosy like the sun. Like the sun over the hills down home. I got my song figured right now. Here it comes.
We pray for one last landing on the globe that gave us birth. Let us rest our eyes on the fleecy skies of the cool green hills of Earth.
I can see them now. The hills. The sun. I can see the sun.
That's the way he died. Riesling, the blind singer of the spaceways, singing of the home he never reached, the cool green hills of Earth.
Be with us at this same time next week for another adventure into the unknown world of Dimension X.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in Time and Space. Transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
When the first space rocket lands on Mars, what will we find? Will we be welcomed with open arms, or will the Martians treat us as invaders? Only one thing is certain. Someday a giant metal ship will take off from Earth to travel through the black velocities, the silent gulfs of space, to descend at last into the darkness of the upper Martian atmospheres. And on that day, man will finally know the answers. The day we first land on Mars.
Now hear this. Now hear this. Approaching critical deceleration. Fasten gravity suits. Stand by to land.
Mr. Lustig, what do you make of the terrain?
There seems to be a heavy ground miss, Captain. We won't be able to use our infrared lights.
And we'll have to come in on radar.
Wasn't that a little risky, sir, landing in the dark?
I'd rather run the danger of a blind landing, Lieutenant, than come in without the cover of darkness. Remember, we don't know what kind of reception is waiting for us down there.
Airspeed 500. Altitude now 4,000.
Bridge to engine room. Stand by for deceleration.
Engine room, aye.
Fire forward tubes 1 and 3.
Aye.
Skids down.
Skids, check.
Altitude 500. 4. 350. 3.
Up a point now. All right. Let's set her down. Look out! Cut the power. Masters by battle stations.
Aye, sir.
All secured, sir.
Well, we're on Mars. April 20th, 1987. 4:33 Greenwich time. Enter that in the log, Masters.
Aye, sir.
Well, gentlemen, it's less than 2 hours till dawn. As soon as it's light, we'll send out a landing party. Masters, get me an all-over hookup.
All set, Captain.
Now hear this. Now hear this. All right, men. The smoking lamp is lit. We're 17 men on an alien world. And it's up to us whether we ever get home again. The next few hours should tell the story, and I want instant obedience to all commands. I'll court-martial the first man who doesn't jump to when he's ordered. And one other thing. We may be on Mars, but this is still a United States naval vessel. Officers will conduct a personal and weapons inspection in 1 hour. That's all.
Inspection, Captain. Now?
Mr. Lustig, we've got an hour and a half to sweat out before we find out what's outside that airlock. I'd rather have a man worried about his stripes than about what's waiting outside on Mars.
Now hear this. Landing party report to forward airlock. Captain Black, Lieutenant Hingston, Lieutenant Lustig, and Dr. Horst report immediately to forward airlock. It is now landing time -5.
Sounds like they're paging us, Hingston. You ready, Dr. Horst?
Yes. Ready as I will ever be.
Come on. Let's report to the airlock.
4 minutes to go. Where's the captain?
Who knows? What difference does it make?
Just want to get it over with, that's all. Has anybody, got a cigarette?
I think you're smoking too much, Lieutenant Lustig. Are you nervous?
Lay off, will you, Horst?
Wondering what's hidden outside underneath that ground mist? Very unusual planet, Mars.
Why?
There's an atmosphere. Wonderful thing, an atmosphere. Where you find one, you find life.
You mean Martians?
What do you think they'll look like?
Who knows? Intelligent life can take many forms.
You mean they may have green skins and eyes on stalks or something?
A comic book conception is possible. Or they may have developed to a point that is far beyond us. Perhaps they have a science that can produce weapons far more dangerous than our atomic missiles.
You think we may have to fight our way out?
After all, we are invaders.
Now hear this. Landing time -2. Landing
All
time
right. We heard this. I know what I'd like to find outside that airlock. Good old Illinois. You ever been there, Lustig?
Only Chicago.
Well, you ought to see my hometown. Green lawns, big white houses.
Sounds like my hometown.
My grandmother used to have one of those iron deers on the lawn. Every Halloween, we'd paint another color. One time, we painted it black and white like a Holstein cow.
Where does your family live, Horst?
I have no family. When I was a child, they were gassed to death in the Dachau concentration camp.
That's tough.
Oh, it has its advantages. I have no ties on Earth. Nothing to lose now. I imagine I'm the only one on board who is free to enjoy our present peculiar position.
All right, Lustig. You can button it up now.
Aye, sir.
Now, gentlemen, in 1 minute, we'll be the first men to set foot on Mars. Quite an honor, eh?
As long as the medals are not awarded posthumously.
Still uneasy, Dr. Horst?
Captain Black, I've been uneasy ever since I can remember. On Earth and on Mars.
Yeah. 30 seconds. Give me the intercom phone, Lustig. Masters?
Aye, sir.
Battle stations to be manned till we return. If we're not back in 2 hours, I want no rescue party sent out. Blast off and save the ship, you understand?
Aye, sir.
All right, gentlemen. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lustig, open the outer airlock.
Fresh air.
Let's go. Hold it now. It's too dark to move fast.
Quiet, isn't it? Not even a wind.
You can't see anything through this ground mist.
Quiet.
We don't know what's out here. Come on.
What the? Quiet, Captain. I could swear that sounded like a rooster.
I don't hear it anymore.
A very unlikely sound. A rooster crowing on Mars?
Kingston.
Aye, sir.
Set that machine gun 25 yards to the flank. We'll stay here till the ground mist lifts.
Aye, sir.
What do you make of the ground, Horst?
Grass. Plain grass. You can see some large foliage there where the mists then down.
What the heck is that? Kingston! Hold your fire, you fool! I hit it, Captain. What? Some kind of wild animal. I hit it. I could see the tracers, but it's still standing.
Come on, Horst. Doctor, where are you?
Up ahead. Admiring the wild animal.
Careful, Horst. Wait for us.
Don't worry, Captain.
Huh. It's an iron deer. A lawn ornament.
That's impossible.
It's hollow. Interesting, isn't it? A whitewashed Victorian iron deer sitting on a lawn in the middle of Mars.
I don't understand.
Look around. The mist's lifting.
Captain, look there. A house, a regular old-fashioned house.
On Mars.
Good Lord. I haven't seen carved scrolls and gingerbread like that in years. Look at that port swing. The geraniums.
There. I told you it was a rooster, Captain.
Give me the glasses, Lustig. I want to take a look through that front window. What? There's an upright piano. Some sheet music on it. Lustig, it's beautiful Ohio.
Beautiful Ohio? That can't be.
Look here, Horst. Do you think that civilizations of two planets could be identical?
I don't know. That specific variety of geraniums is only 50 years old on Earth.
Is it logical they should develop in Mars? How about that port swing, that piano, and beautiful Ohio?
No, it's impossible.
Captain Black, this looks like the town I was born in.
Well, it looks like my hometown, too.
I've thought of something, sir. It's the only solution. Maybe we're not the first ship to reach Mars from Earth. That's the only answer.
That's impossible, Lustig. There have been space travel that couldn't be secret. Do you have any idea what ships cost, what industrial power is needed? There's got to be some logical reason.
Captain, I think perhaps we might find out. A light just went on in that house.
Kingston, cover that door with the machine gun.
Aye, sir.
Come on, Horst. Ring that doorbell. There's got to be a scientific answer to all this.
There's something moving in there.
Stand back, Horst. Give me a clear shot. Maybe a Martian.
Can I help you?
We were looking...
Well, if you're selling anything, it's much too early.
No, wait a minute. What town is it?
What do you mean? Are you census takers?
No, we're strangers here. We want to know how this town got here.
It is a game.
No, it's not a game. We're from Earth.
From where?
From Earth.
Do you mean out of the ground? Hey, are you sure you're feeling well?
Madam, we came in a flying ship across space. We're from the third planet. This is Mars. Now, do you understand? Mars.
You go away now, you hear? I'll call my husband from upstairs and he'll chase you. Now, go on.
This is Mars, isn't it?
This is Green Lake, Wisconsin, in the United States of America. Bounded on the east by the Atlantic and on the west by the Pacific. Now, go away. Goodbye.
Horst, do you suppose it's really possible? I've got to find out more about this.
For the last time now, go away.
Pardon me, madam. What year is this?
Year? Well, 1928, of course. Oh, for goodness sake.
You hear that, Horst? And we know it's 1987. And we know it's Mars. Is it possible we got fouled up, made some tremendous blunder, and circled around and landed back on Earth?
In 1928?
Or maybe some switch in time or dimension. Could we have shifted somehow and gone backward in time? Horst, it won't hold water. It's not logical. We've checked every mile. We went past the moon and out into space. We're on Mars.
Find out anything, Captain?
No, we're going back to the ship till I figure out some logical explanation for all this. Lustig, out at point.
Aye, sir.
Hingston in the rear. Keep that gun at half load.
Aye, sir.
Horst, there's got to be some cold, logical solution.
Captain.
What?
That house down the street. The white one with the green shutters.
Lustig, what's the matter?
I never thought. Thank God. Thank God.
Lustig, come back here.
He's running for the house.
That crazy fool, after him quick.
Lustig, stop.
Come down off of that porch.
Grandma! Grandpa!
Lustig, what the devil do you think you're crossing?
Grandma and Grandpa, it is you.
Lustig, what's going on here?
Albert, why, it's been so many years.
How you've grown, boy.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Lieutenant Lustig.
Oh, Captain. Grandma, I want you to meet my friend. This is Captain Black. Captain, I want you to meet my grandfolks.
Howdy. Any friends of Albert's is friends of ours.
How long you been here, Grandma?
Oh, good many years. Ever since we died.
Ever since you what?
Oh, yes, sir. They've been dead 30 years.
What? You mean to tell me that Mars is heaven?
Oh, nonsense, no. All we know is here we're alive again. And who are we to question God's infinite ways?
Lustig, we're going back to the ship.
But, Captain, I want to talk to my
Lieutenant
grandfolks.
Lustig, I don't like any part of this. You come back with us, I have to club you and carry you.
Yeah, but, sir,
That's
they're
enough.
my...
Heaven only knows what they've run up against the back of the ship. Horst, look at that crowd around the ship.
Looks like we're being welcomed with a celebration, Captain.
Celebration, they've abandoned ship. Every port is open, no guards set. You, Masters.
Hiya, Captain. Meet my old dad. Dad, that's Captain Black, and he's not a bad guy for an officer.
Of all the... Hingston!
What, sir?
Bring that man back. Use force if you have to.
Excuse me, sir. There's my Uncle George.
Hingston!
I'll be right back, Captain. Uncle George! Uncle George!
What the devil
Don't
is
you
going...
understand, sir? They've all found friends and relatives. They're all here.
He's right, Captain. I've counted. The whole crew's out in the crowd.
But I gave orders. Definite orders.
You don't understand, Captain.
I understand mutiny. I don't care how many relatives show up. I'll have discipline.
Johnny! Johnny, you old son of a gun.
Edward. It's you. It can't be.
Of course it is. Johnny, you old son of a gun.
Edward. Dr. Horst. This is my brother, Edward.
How do you do?
Hello.
It's wonderful to see you, Edward. Look, I've got to get back to my ship.
Hey, I almost forgot. Mom's waiting at home.
Mom?
And Dad, too.
Mom? Dad are alive? Excuse me, Horace. Then you're real, then.
Don't I feel real? How's that, huh?
Ed,
we've got lunch for you, Johnny. Mom's making corn fritters.
Corn? Dr. Horst, haven't you found anybody?
No, Captain. I have nobody.
Then you come on home with me, right, Ed?
Sure, you bet.
Horst, you wouldn't believe it, but it's been 35 years since I had Mom's corn fritters. By George. 35 years.
And there's plenty more in the kitchen, so don't hold back, Johnny. You too, Dr. Horst.
Well, Johnny, you're still in the Navy, huh?
That's right, Dad. I'm in command of the ship.
We're an old Navy family, Dr. Horst. All three of our boys in the service.
Ed was the best pilot in the Pacific. What did happen, Ed?
Oh, what's the difference? I'm here now.
Oh, you know, it's almost perfect. All we're missing is your brother Will. Then the whole family could be together.
Well, it won't be long, Mom. Will's in charge of the XR-54. That's the next rocket coming out to Mars.
Well, little Will. When does he leave, Johnny?
Takeoff scheduled for September, but it depends on what we report. There's no question about that now, eh? Christmas together again. That'll be something, huh?
Yes, sirree. Well, this calls for celebration. How about a little of the old dandelion wine, eh, Johnny?
Now, Father, don't you go giving Johnny too much wine.
Oh, he's a big boy now, Mother. Well, sir, isn't everything just fine? Just fine.
The candlelights are gleaming on the banks of the Wabash, far away.
Play another song.
Sure, Well, Dr. Horst, what do you think of my little family,
Very nice.
You know, I can't understand why you didn't find any folks here, Dr. Horst. It's just a shame. Everybody else is so happy.
I never remembered my family, Mrs. Black. All I know is they were gassed at Dachau during the Second World War. When I was liberated, I was in delirium 3 months. I cannot remember anything before then. A psychiatric phenomenon.
That's terrible. Isn't there anything anybody can do?
I don't want to remember.
Oh.
I haven't had a pleasant life. I prefer to be free of emotional entanglements. They interfere with a scientific approach.
I'm sorry, Dr. Horst.
Oh, I'll get it. Hey, that's our ring, long and three shorts. I remember that.
Well, maybe we'd better call it a night. You must be getting tired, Johnny.
I'd better be going back to the ship.
Oh, nonsense. You stay the night. We insist.
Oh, I just couldn't rest thinking of you all alone on that ship.
Oh, I'd be all right. Well, good night.
Oh, wait a minute, Dr. Horst. That phone message was for you.
Me?
Yes, that's right. A message from Anna.
Anna? I don't remember any Anna.
She asked if you were better.
Perhaps she's someone you knew at Dachau.
Anna?
She said she's coming over here first thing in the morning. So you'll have to stay over.
Yes,
well,
but...
that settles it then. You stay here, Horst. You can bunk with me in my old room.
Oh, but Johnny, we thought you'd like to be with Edward.
So you could talk the way you used to.
Well, we can't put Dr. Horst on the daybed. I think we better share the room tonight. There'll be plenty of time for talking, Ed.
I guess so.
Well, I suppose I better drop back to the ship. You know, Ed, security check.
Well, why do you have to do that here?
Well, I don't know. There's no good reason, I guess. Well, suppose we skip it tonight.
Oh, sure.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, it's good to have you home, Johnny.
It's good to be home, Mom.
Captain Black, are you asleep?
No. I've just been thinking about what we were expecting. Green-skinned Martians with eyes on stalks. All the time there was only Mom and Dad and Edward waiting. It's funny what tricks your imagination can play on you. Yeah, I guess Mars is heaven, Horst.
I've been thinking about Martians, too.
Yeah.
Captain, just suppose there were Martians, and they saw us land. Suppose they thought of us as invaders. What would be the best weapon they could use against our atom bombs?
I don't see what you're getting at.
They would want to disarm us first, to wipe out all suspicion, to make us feel at home. But suppose this house isn't real. Suppose the people are just images, stolen from our own memories by Martians, created for us by telepathy, hypnotism.
That's the craziest theory I ever heard.
Maybe that's why there was no one for me. Because in all my life, there is no happy memory, no real loved person.
How about that phone call from Anna?
Yes, Anna. I didn't remember who she was, but I do now. I just remembered. When I was freed from Dachau, sick, delirious, I raved about a wonderful, kind nurse named Anna that took care of me.
There you are. It's logical. She's coming to see you tomorrow.
But there was no Anna. I'd be nursed by a man.
What?
Anna was only a dream. And there's only one way they could have learned about her. By reading my subconscious mind.
But that's impossible, Horst.
Why? The whole crew was thinking of home. Suppose the Martians read our minds.
Yes, but there are Martians.
If there are, they have us separated. Each man in a different house. Sleeping. Trusting. No one at the guns.
I left my pistol downstairs. Do you think there's something to this, Horst?
Who would suspect his own mother? His grandparents? How easy. Just a knife in the heart of each sleeping man.
It's impossible, Horst. We've got to get back to the ship.
Listen. The crickets have stopped.
Come on.
We don't know when they change back to. Whatever they really are.
Where are you going, John?
Ed, well, we wanted to drink of water. That's all, Ed.
You're not thirsty, John. You don't want to drink. You don't want to drink.
His face, it's changing! And his hands, he's a Martian! Run, Horst!
You can't
Run!
get away, John. You can't get away.
This way, Horst! Horst, where are you?
Hello, can you hear me, Earth? This is Captain John Black, the XR-53, calling from Mars. I've locked myself in the ship, but they've crippled it. I can't take off or fire the guns, and they're coming for me now, the Martians. I'm all alone here. All the rest are dead. Hingston, Lustig, Dr. Horst. Poor Horst, he didn't even reach the door. Listen, they're trying to break through the hull now. Edward and Mom and Dad and all the folks. But they're changing now. Melting and changing back into... They're Martians. Can you understand me? Martians, not men. They made us think that Mars was heaven and we fell into the trap. Can you hear me, Earth? You've got to stop the next rocket. Tell my brother Will. Tell my brother Will not to come. They'll trap him too. They'll kill them all. Hello, can you hear me, Earth? This is John Black on Mars. Hello, Earth. This is John Black on Mars.
Tonight, Dimension X has presented and transcribed the Ray Bradbury story, Mars is Heaven, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured players were Wendell Holmes as Captain Black and Peter Capell as Dr. Horst. Your narrator, Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. Robert Warren speaking. In a moment.
Dimension X.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in time and space, transcribed in future tense. On stage tonight, Dimension X. Maybe you've been over the route of the march. The Cross-Mars Highway runs that way now. From the Calmac Canal on the equator, north to the highlands, with a water station every 20 miles and a radar pickup and towing service running 24 hours a day. But there wasn't any highway 30 years ago in 97. There was desert. Hot, burning desert. Sands shifting and blowing, piling up around the empty shells of the ruined cities, ancient when man on Earth was living in caves. I lived at the edge of the Calmac Canal then with my father. He was a prospector, searching the surrounding desert with sonar probe and Geiger counter, scratching just enough ore from under the Martian sands to pay for our grub stake the next year. I remember he was in the Adamson digger in the North Quadrant when I came running out that day.
There's somebody coming, Dad, across the desert.
You sure?
I saw them. They're a couple of miles out.
How many cars?
They're on foot.
On foot across the desert?
Honest, Dad, I saw them.
You sure it wasn't a light reflection off the canal?
No, it was dark against the sand.
I don't like that. You run back and get the rifles out. I've got to pull the digger into the shed.
Is there going to be fighting, Dad?
I don't know. Got a whole year's ore piled out back in the bins. Ain't gonna lose it to no claim jumpers. You get back to the shack and break out those rifles. See that they're loaded, you hear? And jump.
Dad had 3 surplus Army rifles and a couple of homemade grenades made out of ore cans stuffed with Adamson A explosives. We crouched inside the shack waiting. The shadow of the water tower in the doorway grew longer as the quick Martian dusk settled down over the desert.
There they come, Al. There's 2 of them.
There's something funny about that second one. Look, he's all spindly, and his head's funny.
Yeah, his head's funny, all right. Now, that's a Martian.
I never saw one off the reservation before.
There hasn't been one, not in 10 years. I don't like this.
Here they come, into the door here.
Now, you remember what I told you. Line up the sights and just squeeze the trigger. Hello! Hello there!
Now, Dad?
Hello! Wait a minute. What do you want? Water!
What are you going to do, Dad?
Where do you come from? Full swim. You're lying. That's 100 miles across the desert. I know. That's where I came from. My tank is empty. I need water. Well, drop your gear and come up here slow. Tell that Martian to stay where he is. All right, now. Who are you? My name is John. John, huh? What are you doing with that spider? His name is Kantalka. I don't care what his name is. What's a human doing with a Martian? I found him in the dry bed of Calmac Canal, nearly dead of thirst. Probably ran off from the reservation. When our brothers are caged, they seek freedom. Brothers? Those spiders? All living creatures are our brothers, on Mars as on Earth. Oh, wait a minute. Bert Alstrom at False Wells told me there was a screwball hedge preacher over there hollering about letting the spiders loose off the reservations. Let no man call his life his own. No man, nor tribe, nor nation. I guess that's you, all right. Yeah, Bert told me they called you Crazy John. Oh, well, I don't suppose there's any harm in you. Go on, fill up your tank at the air still. You can even have supper with us.
We would be happy to.
We? What do you mean, we?
Consul Carr and myself.
That Spider? Oh, no. I ain't having a Martian sitting down to eat with me. Now, you come on, no.
Thank you, sir, no. Where my brother is not welcome, I cannot go.
The old man filled his tank at the air still tower, and the Martian went through the ash pile for half-burned fuel breaking. When we went in the house for supper, I could see them silhouetted against the fire. The old man with his wild hair and beard, and the thin, spidery arms and legs of the Martian.
Dad?
What now?
Were the Martians always on the reservation?
Since the Outpost 3 massacre, they have been.
What was that?
Back before you were born, they lived wild in the mountains up north.
Were they fierce?
Fierce enough. There's only one place for them spiders. Behind wire.
Yeah, it sure is.
Out in the dooryard, the campfire flickered at the base of the water tower. The first of the Martian moons had set. The other wouldn't rise for several hours. I could hear the sandpeepers out in the desert as I stood there. The old man and the Martian were sitting on the ground, huddled close to the fire. It gets cold fast on the desert when the sun goes down.
There's you, boy. You can come up to the fire if you'd like.
My dad wouldn't like it.
All right.
But I'm not afraid of no spider.
No, there's nothing to be afraid of.
How come his arms are all skinny?
Ask him.
Does he talk?
Yes, his name is Consul Carr.
It is, huh? Hello.
Hello, boy.
He talks funny.
It is not my language.
Why isn't he on the reservation? You can get in trouble helping spiders to escape.
He is my brother. He was caged. When my brothers were in bondage, I came to them and said, "Lo, the time has come for deliverance."
You talk funny, too. Is it true that you want to let all the spiders off the reservation?
No man has the right to imprison the innocent.
Do they really call you Crazy John?
I have been called many things.
You really think we ought to let all those old spiders off the reservation?
Boy, we die here in the desert. We die in the sun of the sicknesses you have brought from Earth.
That's because Martians are just weak. I bet I could knock you down myself.
You could. We are a different people. We have not the strength of muscle of Earthmen. But we will not stay here to die.
You won't get off the reservation. The patrol takes care of that, all right. They won't let any stinking old spiders out.
Even in the minds of children is planted the poison of evil. How long?
That night through the window, I could see the flicker of the old man's campfire. He was walking up and down now, shouting, singing hymns, verse after verse, his white beard catching the light as he passed behind the fire. The Martian sat slumped over, his thin, spindly arms folded across the huge barrel chest that had developed over the centuries as the air of Mars thinned and escaped into space. In the morning, I looked out, and they were gone. Looking back now, we wonder how they did it. The high-voltage wire around the reservation carried a fatal charge. The patrolmen in the tower had 50-caliber machine guns. The desert around the camp was mined heavily. And yet, at dawn, August 7th, 1997, they broke out. I was down at the dried-up canal bed hunting sandpeepers when my father came running after me.
Al!
Here I am.
Come on, back to the house.
What's the matter, Dad?
Now, shut up and run.
What is it?
Spiders busted loose.
Bert Alstrom radioed in.
They coming here?
They're headed this way. Murdering devils.
Did they kill anybody?
6 patrolmen when they busted through the wire. I get inside.
What are you going to do, Dad?
Wire a keg of Adamson A across the gate. You get in there, get the guns out.
I got the rifles and shoved a full clip in each one. Then I slipped a primer fuse in the homemade grenades and lugged them out on the porch. Dad was running lead wires back to the detonator from a half keg of Adamson A he'd set across the gate.
That's it. Give me one of those rifles.
They be here soon?
You can see the dust over the rise.
There they are, Dad. There they come.
Now, wait a minute. Hold up. I want to get a good shot. Let them get closer.
Dad, that's Crazy John up in front. There. He's taller than the spiders. You can see his beard.
Yeah, you're right. The renegade rat. Probably helped him break out of the reservation. Now, listen, Al. If anything happens to me, you light out back to the shed. You can hide out in the empty ore bins till they go away. You got that?
All right, Dad. The spider's shouting something, Dad.
That's probably a trick. Get down a little, Al. You're in the way. Yeah, I got him clear now. Right in the head. No, up a little now. I got him.
Dad, look out. They've got guns.
Get down.
Dad.
Get out, Al. Get out to the shed.
But, Dad, you're hit.
Go on. Those spiders are going to rush. Get going.
I can't leave you.
Shut up. Get out of here. You hear? Get out there.
I ran back through the house to the shed, and behind me I could hear the Martian sweeping up to the dooryard. Then suddenly, the ground shook, and I could feel the dull concussion waves hit my ears as the Adamson A exploded. I could hear the high whispered screams of the Martians and the rattle of fragments on the metal roof of the shed. I dived into the empty ore bin and slammed the hatch almost shut. I crouched there watching the thin edge of light that filtered through, listening to the brittle tramping of Martian feet on the board floor of our house. The shooting had stopped, and the shouts had died away. I sat there waiting, and then suddenly a shadow fell across the edge of light, and the hatch slid open on top of me.
You leave me alone. I'll kill you.
Boy, I've been looking for you.
Where's my dad? What did you do to my dad?
He's dead.
You killed him. You and those spiders. You killed my father.
Come out of there, boy.
You let go of me, you murderer.
Come on out.
I'll kill you. I'll kill all those stinking murdering spiders.
They are our brothers, boy. Your father shot without warning, and the fire was returned against my orders. You did not have to shoot. Our brothers came in peace. They're going home to their mountains. We came to get water for the journey.
You mean you just wanted water? You... Dad. Dad.
We'll be following us soon.
We must go.
The boy?
We'll have to leave him here with water and supplies.
No, the Earth Patrol would question him. We need the time. He goes with us.
He can't. It's straight across the desert to the mountains. He'll die.
John, since the Earthmen came to Mars, the Highlanders have died like the grass in the hot sun. We are going home. One life cannot stop us.
They tore the Adamson air still from the tower and mounted it on poles. They piled our supplies in the yard and loaded them on their backs. And then they started. side of the column when they could go no further, and died. The march went on. The sun burned down in the day. The air shimmered with the heat. And at night, under the cold racing light of the twin moons, the winds cut at tattered clothing and scattered the feeble fires that dotted the campsites. On the fifth day, we swung wide to avoid a mining settlement, but not wide enough. They were in ambush behind a pile of rocks.
Down, boy.
Why aren't the spiders fighting back?
Go on back, all of you. We give you your last chance to get back to the reservation. I will shoot the whole lot of you.
Let us go in peace.
Who's that? You. What are you doing with them spiders?
That crazy John. A voice cries out to the universe. Your brothers must have justice.
We'll give them justice.
I shall lead them home. Home to the promised rest. Home to the mountains. March forward! March forward!
Past the rocks they marched, and the Earthmen fired as fast as they could reload. A Martian would spin and drop as the heavy caliber bullets shook his bones to brittle fragments. But the march went on. Wound across the desert in wild zigzags, following the paths the old man had traveled through the years. Only once a patrol plane hovered on the horizon and then shot away. The days went on, the weeks, and the Martians died. They died of exhaustion. They died of the disease we had given them. And they died of thirst. The Adamson still could produce 27 units of water an hour, no more. And on that, they died of thirst.
Here, boy. Here's your water.
That's more than the others got.
Take.
You're giving me your water.
It will be provided to me. He that brings justice to his brothers will drink deep of the water of righteousness. He that leads his brothers to their promised rest will savor the cool draughts of the mercy of heaven. Drink your water, boy.
Across the desert, from the Calmac Canal to Fever Dip, past the towering mesas of the Higgins Badlands, across the dry sea bottoms, they marched. On the 54th day of the march, we halted at evening. The air was thinner and colder now. The rations had long since been exhausted. And around the campfires, they cooked the hard, bitter kernels of the dogbush nut that grew on spiny stalks like earth cactus. I lay down to sleep wrapped in the old man's coat. Early in the morning, before sunrise, I woke suddenly. The ground mist that had covered the desert the night before was lifting slowly, and I saw the old man standing by the burned-out fire, the vapor swirling around his legs, and the cold light of the false dawn edging his wild beard.
Go back to sleep, boy.
I can't.
The end is near. I've led them through the wilderness dry-shod across the seas. And before us lie the mountains.
It's over. We're there.
I have led them to their home. And I must go back to the desert.
You mean alone?
Now, even now, I hear a voice in the wind. Carry the message to the men of Earth. Bring to this new world the message of the old. All beings created in the universe are my brothers. And he that harms my brother harms me. Goodbye, boy. You'll be safe now.
The Martians found him 500 yards from the camp, dead. He had given me his water, He had divided his ration among the sick. And yet his gaunt, tall body had lasted till the march was done, till the mountains were in sight. For now the mist rose, and before us towered the highlands, the tall green mountains, and the cool sky. The march was over. Of the 7,000 Martians who started, 900 were alive. They gathered now on the rise of ground and faced the hills. Their thin bodies wavered as they stood, and some dropped to the ground as they stood there. But there was a light of hope in their large, staring eyes. Most of them had died, but they had died on the way home. And now the march was over. Patrol planes were spotted on the horizon, and within 10 minutes, they had landed. The Martians stood silently as the squads piled out and set up the 50 caliber machine guns and petroleum gel flamethrower.
All right, you spiders, hands up and stay together. Gather in a bunch and don't try anything. Sergeant. Yes, sir. Shoot the first spider that moves and shoot to kill. All right, come on. Where's the boy? There was a boy reported.
Here I am.
You all right, kid? They didn't hurt you?
No, I'm all right. John gave me his water ration.
The leader, eh? I've got a warrant for him. Where is he?
There. He's dead.
Oh. Well, just as well. I'd hate to be him in front of a settler's jury.
What are you going to do to them?
Oh, the spiders? You see those transport planes coming in? We're going to ship them all back to the reservation where they belong.
You mean take them all back?
Lock, stock, and barrel. They'll be back behind the wire before tonight. All right, Sergeant. Get them broken up in groups of 50. The first transports are coming in.
You can't. You can't do that.
What are you talking about, kid?
Oh, you can't take them back. They're home. John said they were home.
You take it easy, kid. You're all right. Now we rescued you. You don't have to worry about these fighters anymore.
You can't take them back. It isn't fair. I won't let you. I won't let you. I won't let you.
Hey, let go of me. Hey, Sergeant. Yes, sir. I can feel this crazy kid off me.
They're home. Can't you understand? You can't take them back.
All right, now, kid. Easy. Must be short, can it? All right, you spiders. Step it up. Move along. These transport planes. Go over now. You're headed right back to the reservation.
They separated them in groups of 50 and loaded them in the planes. 900 out of 7,000. And soon the first big-bellied ships waddled out on the hard sands and lifted slowly into the air, headed back to the south, flying over the trail of dead and dying who started on the march to the highlands, the march to home.
Come on now, kid. You'll feel better as soon as you get back to civilization. And don't worry about those spiders.
Be with us at this same time next week for another adventure into the unknown world of
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in time and space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. The war had been going on for generations. The sea and air were ruled by guided atomic missiles. Radiations and total destruction drove man underground, and there the war continued. The great beds of shale and limestone trembled as an underground cruiser chewed its way through the ageless rock. The ship was squat, ugly, the top of its cutting head 40 feet above the clattering caterpillar treads. It was windowless, and behind the grinding duralloy blades were ugly lumps that concealed the guns. On the bridge, Commander Sanderson fought the bucking vibration, one hand tight on a stanchion.
Culver. Aye, sir. What's wrong with the insulation? It's hotter than oven up here.
Port refrigeration unit went out. Starboard can't carry the load. I've got damage control on it.
Go back.
Aye, sir.
Give me a seismo reading.
Severe shock 30 seconds back. Change course to 175 degrees. And half speed, please, sir, so I can chart the straighter.
Mr. Culver.
Aye, sir.
175, half speed.
Aye, sir.
Navigation, Lieutenant Watson.
Bridge here. Change course to 175, Watson.
175. Aye, sir.
Clark.
Yes, Mr. Watson.
New course 175.
175, aye.
Half speed.
Half speed, aye.
What?
We hit something. What is it, Mr. Watson?
It's lava, probably. Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
No, I guess not. Mr. Watson.
Yes, Clark?
We ever going to get out of here?
You mean the lava?
The whole business. We've been under rock for 3 months.
You better keep quiet, Clark. Psycho officer has rubber heels.
Oh, I don't care about Carpenter. He's been over me already with those stinking reaction tests. If he gives me one more ink blot to look at...
What's your dial? 1 degree correction.
Right. Mr. Watson, what was it like?
Huh? When?
On the surface. I never saw the surface. I was born in the Denver cave, half a mile down.
Oh, that was a long time ago, Clark.
Yeah. But you remember, don't you? You and Kovacs are the only ones on the ship who remember the surface.
It was war then, too. Kovacs was in the army, the infantry. The queen of battles. Well, the queen's dead now.
What was it like?
You mean in the surface wars?
Yeah.
Well, they had chaplains and...
Chaplains?
I guess you never heard of that. Now we have psycho officers. Yeah, they don't talk about religion much these days.
It must have been something on the surface. I dream about that. I don't know what it was really like, but I dream about it. Then somebody takes me and shoves me down in the bottom of a hot closet. They shove a big hand over my mouth and I can't breathe. I wake up and I want to bust out of here with my fingernails. I just...
What's the matter, Clark?
Nothing, Dr. Carpenter.
Nothing?
No, sir.
We were just passing the time, Carpenter.
When's the last time you had an emotional reaction test, Watson?
I don't know. I forgot.
Just remember your seniority doesn't exempt you from psychiatric review. This isn't some slipshod surface vessel with organized superstition aboard.
The old chaplains weren't so bad.
Not scientific.
You know, I can remember when psychiatry and mental hygiene were the hope of mankind. Now look at it.
That goes in my report, Watson.
Yeah? Well, make sure you spell my name right.
Now hear this. Now hear this. Attention all hands. Igneous rock detected. Fresh lava flow. Stand by to go to quarters.
You're lucky, Watson.
That is all.
I'll finish with you later. I've got to check combat detachment.
Sure. Go play with your ink blots. I'm busy.
Now,
go
listen.
on, get out of the way. Get down to the combat detachment. They'll be happy to see you. Clark, check those dampers.
I'll take 3 cards.
I'll stand pat.
Jake to the pat hand.
Combat detachment, huh? What kind of a chicken guy are you?
Anytime you want to start anything, you lying, yelling,
All
chisel.
right. Don't flip your wig.
All right, I don't want no trouble. That rubber-soled rat carpenter, he's worked us all over.
Yeah, all except Norman. Hey, Norman. Norman, how come you ain't been psychoed?
I don't need it. I'm stable.
I bet you any money he's a stoolie for carpenter. I've seen his 201 personnel file. It's blank.
I heard a guy say he was born in a lab.
What do you mean?
You ever seen him eat?
Oh, you're crazy.
The science brass has been working on something like that.
You're crazy.
You know how many men they fell short in the last draft? 900,000.
So what?
Now, suppose you run out of real men for soldiers. Suppose you figure how to make them. Artificial. If they ever do, they ain't gonna talk about it until it's combat tested.
Yeah, I never thought of that. Hey, Newman. What do you got inside of you? Gears?
I'm not supposed to talk about myself.
Yeah? Well, suppose I make you talk.
Hey, sit down, Chef. Sit down before I
Let go of me or I'll lay you out, too.
Hey, cut it.
Keep your hands off.
Sure.
At ease, men. Well, how's everybody feeling? You coke?
All right. I'm all right, sir.
Uh-huh. Sheehan? Sheehan?
I'm all right, sir.
Newman?
I'm all right, sir.
Of course. Very well, carry on. Commander Sanderson, I have my report.
Later, Carpenter.
It's rather important, sir. Serious personnel trouble is indicated below.
It always is. Give your report to Culver. I'm busy.
But, sir...
Kovacs, give me a geo reading every 10 seconds.
Aye, sir. Straight as steady as before.
Mr. Culver.
Later.
If you will initial the cycle report.
All right. Hurry up. This is no time for non-combat checking.
Seismo reading, sudden fault, igneous activity ahead.
That means the enemy. Mr. Culver?
Aye, sir.
Elevate the cutters 25 degrees. We're going up and come on the enemy from above.
Aye, sir.
Navigation, Watson.
Elevate 25 degrees.
25 elevation. Aye, sir.
Figures ahead on sonar. Sounds like 3.
All right. Sound general quarters.
Aye, sir.
All right. General quarters.
All this stinking luck. Aces I got.
Get into your armor, you tub of lies.
Yeah, give me a hand, Shin. Accident problem, my helmet's stuck. It's too tight. Helmet's too tight.
You eat too much.
At least I eat. Not like Newman.
Yeah, look at him. Full armor and he's still smoking. I bet he lives on nicotine. Hey, Newman.
Yes?
You live on nicotine?
Tobacco is necessary to me.
Say that, a rope. What did I tell you?
All right, shut up and test your helmet radio. Snap it down.
Okay.
Now I'll get mine.
Can you hear me? Is my intercom okay?
Okay. Keep the power up.
Newman, check your intercom.
I can hear you. Attention, combat detachment, move out.
We're those chow runners with battle breakfast.
Breakfast, huh? I can remember when they had meat in the chow. When they had cooks instead of food chemists, first class.
Quit griping, Coke. At least we eat.
Yeah, we eat. How about him? Want any breakfast, Snowman? No. I don't need breakfast. I can wait without it.
Navigation, Watson.
Bridge here. Half speed. Half speed.
Half speed, aye. Clark?
What?
What's the matter? You got the shakes?
No, I'm all right.
Half speed.
Half speed, aye.
Attention, all hands. Enemy diggers sighted.
What? Huh?
Prepare for action at close quarters. Enemy diggers sighted.
You hear that, Watson?
Prepare for action at
Close quarters.
Full speed forward.
No, I won't.
What? Come on, full speed forward.
No. Not another inch. Stop this ship.
Get away from there.
Let me go. I gotta stop the ship. I won't be killed. I won't be killed.
Get away from the controls, Clark. You hurt? All right, take it easy now.
What? I've got a gun. Stop the ship. Stop it before I shoot you.
Now take it easy, boy.
I won't be killed. I won't let him. I'll give you 3, Watson, then I shoot.
You don't know what you're doing.
I'm gonna stop the ship. 1, 2...
You could have wounded him, Carpenter. That would have been enough.
My judgment was the clock was more than a marginal risk. I acted accordingly.
Sure. I'll get a detail to clean up after you.
Well, Doctor, the commander says you rate a citation.
If you had read my report, Mr. Culver, you'd understand.
Carpenter,
Aye, sir.
don't let the crew hear of this. Wouldn't do for them to know an officer was emotionally unstable. You won't keep it quiet, sir. There was a detail to remove the body.
What's that?
Enemy digger within 100 feet, coming in fast.
Hold it, Culver. Don't reverse engines. Turn on the drill with the tread stationary.
Aye, sir. Full speed drill. Threads cut out.
We'll blow up a cloud of dust that will blind their optical technician in the infrared. Stand by, gunnery. Stand by, gunnery. Ready, sir. Enemy will be breaking through any second. There it is. Halt drill blades. Navigation. Cut out drill. Cut out drill. Fire when ready. Fire.
Contact signal. Contact signal received.
Cease fire, Mr. Culver. Contact signal. Cease fire.
Enemy battery silent, sir.
Give the go-ahead to the combat men. They can move in. Who tripped that alarm? Cut it off!
Navigation to bridge.
Bridge, aye. What's wrong down there? Why the emergency?
The atomic pile's kicking up. We can't get into hand dam. She may blow any minute.
I'll take over, Mr. Culver. Prepare to abandon ship.
But the enemy diggers,
With
sir.
the atomic pile about to blow, we'll have to advance, destroy the enemy, and take refuge in their ship. There's nothing else we can do. Look alive.
Aye, sir. Attention, all hands. Prepare to abandon ship. Prepare to abandon ship.
Kovacs, have the ship's records packed and ready to go.
Aye, sir.
Commander,
Watson, what are you doing up here?
there'd be a lot more chance of getting out if the ship's engines were reversed. She crawled back down the tunnel before she flew.
There's no way to set up remote control.
I know. I thought I could stay and run her.
But the pile's going to blow.
I know.
All right, Lieutenant. Permission granted. You may stay with the ship.
Thank you, sir.
You may go, Watson.
Aye, sir.
We can't let him do that, Commander. You can't ask any man to do that.
This is no time for sentiment, Mr. Culver.
Doctor, you're a louse.
That's an unstable statement, Culver. It's obvious that Watson isn't worth much anyway. He might as well die.
I've heard enough, Doctor. You've had this coming a long time.
Get away from me.
Culver!
Pearson, get him!
Let go of me, Culver. Yes, sir.
All right, Kovacs. Release him.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Culver, I need you now, but if we come through this, I'll be forced to prevent charges. Kovacs, help Dr. Carpenter up.
Aye, sir.
All right, Mr. Culver, give the order to abandon ship.
All the men are away, Kovacs. Full speed in reverse.
Aye, Mr. Watson. How long have we got before the pile blows?
I don't know. Kovacs, why did you stay here? You could have abandoned ship with the others.
I've been saving a cigar. I got two. Would you like one?
Well, thanks. That's good. You didn't answer my question, Kovacs. Why did you stay?
How about you, sir?
Me? I was in the last class out of Annapolis before it went underground and merged into the Geo-Warfare Academy. I guess I just hang on to illusions. Dead traditions of service. I suppose I did it because I thought it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I guess that's it when you get down to it.
Kovacs, you saved a cigar against the rules. I've got something, too, here. It's a book. I stole it out of a hotel room in Frisco in the old days.
A Bible?
Yeah. Psycho officers don't allow them on board. Carpenter would have had me in the cells if he'd known about it.
There goes the Geiger alarm.
It'll blow any minute now. Kovacs, do you remember this? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
right, guys. Now you know what an enemy underground cruiser looks like. Let's board her.
What was that, ship?
I don't know. Come on. The enemy left their landing trap down.
Let's go.
Look out. That's Fontaine. They kicked in his faceplate.
Watch out for my gun recoil when I go up the ladder. They may be waiting for us.
Where are they? Ought to be some resistance.
Let's get outside. We can sneak into the bridge. We got him. There it is. Bridge hatch.
I don't like this. They should have been guards.
Forget that. You throw open the hatch. I'll cover him with a gun. Got your voice speaker on?
Right.
Okay, open it. Go ahead, man!
Coco, look at them. They're all dead. Every one of them.
This one did it with a sword. You beat that. Killed himself with a sword.
Confound this foreign equipment. Culver, how soon can we get this enemy ship underway? Give me the damage report.
Aye, sir. The port tread knocked out, armor breached aft and amidships, gun batteries inoperable. Lieutenant Adamson estimates we can make limited headway in 2 days.
Very well.
Sir, is it necessary for me to have this guard tagging after me?
You're under arrest, Culver.
Excuse me, Commander, sir.
Oh, go ahead, Cope.
There was a message or something under the guy with the sword when I broke in. I kept it as, well, sort of a souvenir.
Oh, give it to me.
I didn't mean anything wrong, sir.
Hand it over. Culver, you read the enemy language.
I'm afraid I'm under arrest as a prisoner.
That'll do. Go ahead, read it.
From Supreme Headquarters. There's a code designate. To all field commanders. Subject. Secret weapon, X-39. Failure of. 1. Research project X9 released on South America front last night. X9, a semi-living chemical process attacking all forms of protoplasm, was found to be uncontrollable. Is spreading through our own armies all over the world. 2, you are instructed to...
Well?
That's all, sir.
Quiet! Gentlemen, there is only one way to interpret this news. Carpenter, you will inform all hands that the destruction of the enemy is worldwide. The war is over.
Hey, Newman, why don't you laugh, huh? Why don't you shout the war's over? I don't need to shout. Hey,
Dr. Carpenter.
Aye, sir.
You will instruct Cook to serve double rations as a celebration.
No, sir. I strongly advise against it. The psychiatric implications
What's the matter?
I don't know. Something it's inside me. I've got to get out.
Carpenter! Coke, Newman, go after him. Come on.
No. That can't happen to a man. Not that.
It's Carpenter. You can see that.
But that can't happen to a man.
He's dissolved. What's going on here? You don't understand, Commander. You didn't listen to that enemy message. A semi-living chemical process attacking all forms of protoplasm. All forms. Carpenter, and you and me. You understand why the enemy killed themselves. They knew. The war's over, all right.
There's got to be something to do. Culver, Sun General Quarters.
It's too late for that, Commander. The war's over. They invented the perfect weapon. The human race is dissolved. That's funny. Dissolved like Carpenter. you?
Yes.
They're all dead. Aren't they?
Yes. Commander Sanderson was the last.
Except me.
I suppose so.
How about you, Ellen?
It will not affect me. I am not made of protoplasm. I am an inorganic synthesis.
You can't die, then.
No. I am atomic powered. My breakdown point is calculated in thousands of years. I cannot destroy myself. I was conditioned against it.
It's beginning. You'll be all alone, huh?
I know.
Buried alive in a rock for thousands of years. I'm sorry for you, Newman. I'm sorry. You'll be all alone. Now, it's starting. You said it.
Why can't I die? Why didn't they make me so I can die like the others? I can't even kill myself. Why can't I die? Why can't I die?
Told himself that he was master of the machine. But will he always be? Listen next week to the story of a nightmare.
Dimension X is transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented The Last Objective, written for radio by Ernest Kenoy, from the story by Paul Carter. Featured in the cast were Lawson Zerbe as Culver, Ralph Bell as Dr. Carpenter, Wendell Holmes as Watson, and Jack Grimes as Newman. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Bert Berman. Engineer George Mathis. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Dimension X came to you from our Radio City studios in New York. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X.
Nobody knows exactly when the nightmare began. They must have planned it for years, though, because looking back, you can find little incidents here and there. Like the concrete mixer in New Jersey that killed the bricklayer, and the time Senator Milburn was sucked into the rotopress at the Capitol office building. Unrelated accidents, we thought at the time. But they add up now. The day we really should have suspected was when the men walked off the construction job at the new Brookmeadow atomic pile on Long Island. I'll never forget that day. I was working as a statistical clerk in the project then, operating one of those miracle computing machines developed to fill the requirements of Army ordnance. They called it ENIAC.
Mr. Gurney?
Huh? Oh, yes, Donna?
The chief wants to see you in his office.
Me?
Unless you're no longer Samson Gurney, he wants to see you.
Oh, well, of course. What do you
I
suppose?
do not read minds, tea leaves, or crystal balls.
Of course, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
Don't apologize.
I'm sorry.
And don't wait for me. Mr. Hawk is in a hurry.
Yes, I'll go in right away, of course. Her name was Bella Roscoe. She was Mr. Hawk's secretary. I had always thought her a very attractive woman, but for some reason she didn't seem to like me. Of course, on a clerk's salary, I couldn't exactly afford to take ladies to the best places. But I've often thought that if there weren't such a disparity in our ages, I might have... But then...
Come in.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Hawk?
Gurney, I thought those electronic computations were infallible.
They are, sir.
We got a kickback from the chief physicist. These nuclear equations are inaccurate.
No, they aren't, sir.
I'm telling you what the memo says.
Well, sir, occasionally, if there's an overload, the machine goes haywire. Sort of has a nervous breakdown, you might say. We usually rest it up for 24 hours, and it's okay again.
Well, do whatever has to be done.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and Gurney.
Yes, sir.
You've been with the Bureau for over 15 years now. It would be a shame to have to remove you because you aren't keeping your mind on your work.
Well, Mr. Hawk, I hardly think anyone...
Excuse me. Hawk speaking. What? They've what? All of them? Well, have you tried to talk to them? Yes, of course. I'll send one of the safety engineers over. This place is falling apart piece by piece. Miss Roscoe?
Yes, sir.
The men in the construction gang at the new building have walked out on us.
What?
Someone slipped this morning and fell into a turbine.
No.
Get the chief safety engineer. Have him over there right away.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and contact the personnel office. Have them ask the union to order the men back to work. Get back to me.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
I'm
Hawk.
sorry, Gurney. I've no time to discuss anything further. Get on the job and stay awake, or we'll have to make some changes.
But, Mr. Hawk,
That's all,
I assure
Gurney.
you...
That's all.
Now, you probably gathered by this time that I wasn't a very important man at Brookmeadow. I hated Mr. Hawk with a passion because of his superior attitude, and because I knew that Miss Roscoe admired him as a man of strength and decision. I was secretly happy he was having trouble with his construction crews. That evening, I wandered over to the site of the new atomic pile to see where the man had fallen into the turbine. They had the construction area fenced off with barbed wire, and a security guard stopped me.
Hold it, buddy. You can't go in there. That's a restricted area.
I'm Samson Gurney from the statistical section. Here's my identification.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gurney. Nobody's allowed in the area.
I see.
We had a lot of the employees come over tonight to take a look, but nobody gets in. Orders.
Tell me, was he, killed instantly?
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This guy was checking the magnetic field inside the turbine, see? Right down inside it. It's all over.
But if it wasn't hooked up...
Look, Mr. Gurney, they got smarter guys than me trying to figure these things out. Yesterday it was a concrete mold. Wham! 2 guys get sucked right into the mixer.
My.
3 days ago, a bulldozer starts up by itself and runs wild. 1 killed. 2 almost. Go figure it out.
You know what I think? Sabotage.
We got more guards and FBI men in here than we got workers. Flea couldn't get through without proving he didn't come off a Russian wolfhound.
Now, I'm a statistician. All my life, I've been interested in statistics. So, a simple-sounding thing like this started me off. I went back to the office that evening instead of going home, And for the next 2.5 hours, I computed figures on the probability of industrial accidents for the types of machines we were using. I took one look at my figures and went down to Hawk's office. Just as I figured, he was staying late, working on a settlement with the construction workers.
Yes?
Oh, good evening. I saw the light.
Well, Mr. Gurney, what are you doing here?
Is Mr. Hawk working late?
Yes, I am, too.
Oh. I wonder if I could see him a moment.
We're busy right now. Could you make it tomorrow?
It's very urgent. I'll wait, if you don't mind.
Suit yourself.
Miss Roscoe, I wonder if perhaps you would consider having dinner with me this evening after you're through.
I have a date, Mr. Gurney.
I was thinking we might go to Raymond's. They have very good spaghetti.
Mr. Hawk has already asked me to have dinner with him at the Golden Shish Kebab.
Well, of course, that's out of my class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Hawk,
Yes,
Mr.
Bella?
Gurney would like to see you a moment. He says it's very urgent.
Urgent? All right, I'll give him a visit.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Roscoe. Mr. Hawk, in the past 3 months, industrial accidents all over the country have taken a sharp, unexplained upswing.
Why don't you stop playing FBI man and stick to your job, which, incidentally, you haven't been doing too well. You and our computing machines have made mistakes before. Now, this is probably another. I'll have Miss Ross come so... Sir? What's the matter with this blasted buzzer? Miss Roscoe! Miss Roscoe!
Yes, sir.
Stop this blasted buzzer. Get a repairman, a mechanic, anything, but stop the thing. And you, Gurney, get out.
I went back to my office to get my hat and coat, feeling about as unhappy and humiliated as a man can feel. He had thrown me out in front of her. The office was dark and deserted. The whole building seemed oppressive and unnatural. I walked across to my desk. In front of me, the ENIAC glowed and chattered eerily as it worked on the equations we had fed it that morning. Its many-fingered circuits hung against the wall like some great octopus. And the thousands of tubes glowed orange and blue in the dark like 1,000 eyes staring at me. It almost seemed alive. Then it increased its tempo a moment, and a fleeting notion crossed my brain that it was laughing at me. Laughing like all the others. What was the matter with me? What? I shut my desk drawer and began to put the cover on my ENIAC typewriter when an amazing thing happened. The most amazing single incident of my life. Alone, in the darkness, with no one at the keyboard, the ENIAC typewriter began to type. Am I going crazy? This can't be. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. Oh, no. I'm just imagining. It's in my mind. But I hadn't imagined it. The paper was there in the carriage. Would I dare read it? Or would the whole thing suddenly vanish and send me shrieking to the nearest psychiatrist? Sampson Gurney, there are some equations better left unsolved. The answer to yours is death. It was not until I turned to go that I was suddenly aware of the utter and complete silence of the room. Then it dawned on me. The ENIAC had stopped working.
Gurney, do you expect me to believe this? It's insane.
Mr. Hawk, I'm a saint.
Take it easy, Gurney. Now, this is just some practical joke someone in the office is playing.
There was no one in the office.
Of course not. They wired up the machine and left.
I checked the machine myself, Mr. Hawk.
All right, Gurney. You leave this note with me, and I'll turn it over to the security force for further investigation.
But-
No buts, Gurney. The security men will handle it.
Yes, sir.
Well, maybe you've been working too hard lately. You've got to relax more. Now, here, let me light that cigarette for you.
I watched him trying to make the lighter work.
I don't understand this. I just put fluid in it. There's a brand new flame.
It seemed ridiculous. A little piece of mechanism like a cigarette lighter frustrating the big important executive.
Oh, blast this lighter. Here's a match.
It was such a small thing. And yet as I watched him, a thought began to take shape in my mind. Nebulous at first, incredible perhaps, but it grew.
You just relax for a few days. Everything will turn out all right. Well, the main thing is not to let little things upset you.
It was the cigarette lighter that gave me the idea, and what Hawk had said about little things. For the next week, I observed 1,000 petty little annoyances around the office. The door handle that wouldn't turn, the telephone connection that cut off in the middle of an important call, the power failure for no explainable reason. Suddenly, these things began to fall into a pattern. I, Samson Gurney, knew that I had stumbled onto a secret so monstrous in its implications that I was almost afraid to pursue it. On October 12, 1956, I established communication with them. I will curse the moment to my dying breath. Who's there?
Night security guard.
Oh, hello, Henry.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gurney. What are you doing here so late?
I'm just doing a little repair work on my ENIAC computator.
Huh. Sure some mess of wires and tubes.
Yes, it is.
Well, I gotta finish my rounds. Won't forget to turn out the light, will you, Mr. Gurney?
No, Henry, no, I won't forget.
Night.
Good night. When you were a child, did you ever try to imagine that you were all-powerful? I felt like that when I finished hooking the input of the typewriter to the main vacuum tube of the ENIAC. Then I turned on the current that sent 1,000,000 volts of pulsing energy into the electronic nerves of the machine. I am certain that if anybody were watching me in the next moment, he would have thought me a raving maniac. I still wonder if perhaps it is not all a nightmare. Now, you! If what I have guessed at is true, if there's life and intelligence in this room, make a sign! There was nothing. Nothing but the hum of the machine and the dull glowing of the tubes. Then, suddenly, without provocation or explanation, it happened. The ENIAC typewriter began to respond to the impulses from the machine. The letters were Y, E, S. Yes. It had happened. I, Samson Gurney, had communicated with a machine. I was about to try to communicate again when suddenly, on ball-bearing casters, a heavy metal filing cabinet began to roll away from the wall toward me. I started to move to one side when another cabinet slid out from the wall, and then another surrounding me. That was when I realized that they cooperate. We taught them that, you see, on the assembly lines and in the factories. There was no way out. How could a mere man reason with dumb machines? Still, they needed us. They needed us to oil them and repair them and build them. They hadn't gotten to the point yet where they could exist without man. I had to make them understand that before they killed me. Listen to me. You must listen. What good will it do you if you kill me? I'm only one man, but I can help you. I can be useful to you. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Good. You're going to need men to oil you and repair you. I'll do anything. I'll do absolutely anything you want, but in the name of God, don't kill me. If you can understand this, answer me. Answer me. The appeal captured the longing of centuries. Man as slave to the machine. And after a moment, the circuits glowed more brightly. The cabinets slid back to the walls. As I tore the tape from the machine and read it, the words were almost pathetic in their longing, but most ominous in their implication. They read, "Address me as master." My life for the next 6 months was a nightmare. The ENIAC gave me messages which I had to transmit into my telephone. I was frantic. I began to lose weight. I couldn't sleep. My nights were torture, a constant fear. It was in December, just after Christmas. I was sitting in my room, listening to a broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, a special bulletin. Already 24 hours before the peak of the New Year's traffic, over 1,000 deaths have been reported. This is an unprecedented figure. Again, if you...
That very afternoon, I had transmitted a message to the telephones for relay to all machines of transportation. The message was one word: kill. Next morning, I avoided my office. Instead, I went directly to the office of Mr. Hawk. I was highly agitated. My lips trembled as I spoke.
Well, Gurney?
Mr. Hawk, what I'm going to tell you sounds crazy. I know it does, but I must say it.
All right, say it then, for heaven's sake.
Mr. Hawk, have you ever heard of resistentialism?
What?
Resistentialism.
You're not making sense, Gurney.
Mr. Hawk, I'm trying to tell you. All these accidents, the trouble with the machines. Mr. Hawk, they're alive. They think, they cooperate, and they hate us.
Who?
The machines.
Gurney.
You've got to believe me. I've communicated with them. I know. What are you doing?
Now, just relax, Gurney. Everything will be all right.
What are you doing?
Miss Roscoe, send for the plant physician at once. Mr. Gurney has had a nervous collapse.
But, Mr. Hawk...
Everything will be all right, Gurney. We'll give you a nice, long rest.
You fool. You blind, stupid fool! Can't you see what you're doing? Fool, fool, fool! When the plant physician arrived a few moments later, Lucius Hawk was found at his desk, strangled to death in a nest of telephones. The wires were still humming softly.
Samson Gurney, you stand accused of the crime of murder. How do you plead?
I did not kill him. I didn't.
So record. Prosecution will proceed with testimony.
Now, Miss Roscoe, did the accused quarrel with your employer on the morning of the murder?
Oh, yes. He and Mr. Hawk quarreled violently. I could hear Mr. Gurney screaming at him. And Mr. Hawk asked me to send for the plant physician.
What were his words?
He said, Mr. Gurney has had a nervous collapse.
Now, Mr. Simpson, you are a guard at the Brook Meadow Project?
Yes, sir.
When did you have occasion to meet the accused?
Right after those accidents. He was snooping around the construction area.
Samson Gurney, court hereby finds you guilty of murder in the first degree. Recommendation that you be examined, committed to the state hospital for the criminally insane at Matawan.
And that's how I came to be here at the hospital, Dr. Klein. That's the whole story.
Thank you, Mr. Gurney.
You can see that I'm not insane. You must believe me, Doctor.
Of course I believe you, Mr. Gurney. Now tell me about this revolt.
It will begin in Washington, then spread to New York.
Yes?
The Madison Avenue buses lead the charge. Picture it, Dr. Klein, 3,000 buses roaring rampant through the streets, people running like rats in a maze looking for manholes in the pavement.
And you really believe this will happen, Mr. Gurney?
I know it, Doctor. The worst part of it is there's no way to stop them now. It's too late.
Now, you mustn't excite yourself, Mr.
Doctor,
Gurney.
don't you see? It's fair enough, I suppose. We built them. We taught them to think for themselves. It was bound to come. I guess the female machines will be worst of all in the beauty parlors. They're more high-strung, you know.
Well, since there's nothing we can do about it, Mr. Gurney, suppose you go to your room and...
Maybe if I went to my old Plymouth, I could make a deal before the police cars got me.
Yes, Doctor? Would you take Mr. Gurney to his room, guard? He's already been given sedation.
Yes, sir.
Those concrete mixers may have made a mistake, you know. Just high spirits and all that, but if they got so they liked the flavor...
We'll see you later, Mr.
they-
Gurney. Now, try not to worry too much. All right, guard.
This way, sir.
Oh, machines revolting. Telephones strangling people. Oh, blasted cigarette lighter. Why won't it work? I just filled it. Flint is good. Oh, well, you can never trust this newfangled machinery.
Next week, Dimension X will present a story of the future. A story of an insignificant pebble in the sky called Earth, and of a man from a distant star who grew to love this unimportant planet.
Dimension X is transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction.
Nightmare was written by George Lefferts and based on a poem, The Revolt of the Machines by Stephen Vincent Benet. Featured players in the cast were John Gibson as Mr. Gurney and Rita Lynn as Bella Roscoe. Norman Rose is your host. Music by Albert Berman. Engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. The civilization of the galaxy spread across 200 million worlds. The black void of space swarmed with the ships of the Empire. But far off the trade routes, almost forgotten, lay the dying planet Earth, a backwater in galactic culture, a place of exile, a pebble in the sky.
I landed on Earth, on the one spot which I would have called civilized. A patch along the desolate heights of the Himalayas, a
the round of the palace of the Imperial Governor of Earth.
Dr. Bell Avedon of Sirius Sector. That's a familiar name.
Perhaps you've seen it in the Galactic Archaeological Journal, my Lord Ennis.
Me? No, I'm a soldier, not a scientist. It was a newspaper article. You gave an interview about your expedition to Earth. I suppose you want to start digging. Whatever can you find on this miserable heap of rubble?
I don't consider Earth a miserable heap, my lord. It's absolutely unique in the galaxy.
Unique?
It's the only inhabited planet that is radioactive.
It's a pig pen.
Yes, I know. But this planet is inhabited. Biologists have proven that on a radioactive world, high forms of life cannot develop.
High forms? The rest of the galaxy hates the Earthmen, and they return it with interest.
I don't think you understand. I'm not intolerant of anyone, and that even includes Earthmen. My theory is that life on Earth originated before it was radioactive.
There's a story like that in the Earth lore of the ancients.
I know, I've read it.
Oh? I wouldn't admit that here if I were you, Dr. Avedon. It's forbidden for outsiders to read it. The Earthmen get pretty violent about their religion.
Do you mean the Imperial police power here is defective?
It is in case of sacrilege. Well, now, what do you actually want to prove?
That man originated in prehistoric times on Earth before space travel and spread to the other planets.
What? Are you seriously suggesting that at one time Earth was the only inhabited planet and that man descended from Earthman?
There's a chance it might be so.
You'll change your mind when you see them, Doctor. I'm not an anti-terrestrial, but as far as I can see, they're lazy and ignorant and generally inferior to us. I'm as liberal as the next man, but it's a fact. Once an Earthman, always an Earthman.
I booked passage to the city of Chica on an Earth line. My fellow passengers seemed ordinary enough. But I was conscious of being alone among Earthmen. I beg your pardon. Could you tell me what's going on there?
Sure. You see that couple? They've been married 40 years. It's their anniversary.
Yes, sir. 40 years. Hey, Mother? It seems like yesterday. Just like yesterday.
Hey, when are you folks scheduled for the 60?
In a month. 16th of November.
Well, I hope you have a nice day for it. My father reached his 60 in a pouring rain. Kept complaining we were getting soaked. So I told him, what are you complaining about, Dad? I've got to come back.
This 60 they're talking about. Are they referring to their 60th birthday?
Sure. That's when they put you away. Euthanasia. It's a custom. Can't have people living on. Eats up all the food. That's right, isn't it, Pop?
Yes, sir. Mother's coming with me when I reach the 60. She's not due for a couple of months, but she thinks we might as well go together.
Yeah, that's the spirit. There's many a man living past the 60. Sneaks, stealing the food from the next generation. A guy should go when it's his time.
Yes, but suppose
It's only fair to... Hey, where are you from?
I beg your pardon?
Asking all them questions.
Yes. Who are you? A spy? Where are you from?
I'm Bell Avedon from Baron, Sirius Sector.
Oh, an outsider, huh?
Come on, we'll go forward. Did you hear that, Mother? An outsider.
I burned with indignation. Earthmen treating me like an outcast. Earthmen. When we landed, I followed my intention of observing the human animal, subspecies Earth, in its native habitat. In this case, a large department store. Perhaps I resembled a floor walker, for a young Earth girl came up to me and asked a question.
Pardon me. Well, it's my father. He's about 5'4". He wears eye lenses. I think he had on a brown coat.
I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anyone.
But they followed me here. I've got to find him.
Are you in trouble, miss?
No. No, it's nothing, really. I'm sorry I bothered you.
Attention. Attention, please.
What's that?
All patrons of the store will kindly leave by the 5th Street exit. This store is being evacuated for radiation fever quarantine.
What's all this about?
They're after me. It isn't really radiation fever at all.
Who's after you?
How am I going to get out of here? They'll be checking registration cards at the door.
Haven't you got one?
Yes, but it has my name on it. I don't know what to do.
Come on.
But you don't even know me.
I don't know anybody here, but you're an interesting species. Person. This way.
Show your own car. Come on, step along. Next. Check. Wait a minute. Polishek?
Yes, sir.
Stand right there.
Look here, officer.
Are you with her?
Yes, but you'd better find out who I am.
Later. Stand over there. Next. Come on.
What is it now?
The Imperial.
Are you afraid of them?
Of course.
Don't worry about the outsiders, Miss Schecht. I'll handle them.
Oh, no, don't try anything. Don't talk to them at all. Just do what they say. Don't even look at them.
We'll see. Here they are.
All right, now. You, guard.
Yes, sir?
I'm Lieutenant Cloudy, Imperial Garrison. Who's got the fever?
If it please your honor.
Not so close, idiot. You might be infected. I'll take over. You, Worthy. What's your name? Speak up, squaw.
Polishek, sir.
Your registration papers?
Here you are, sir.
Thank you. All right, now. Pick them up. Go on.
Say, look here now.
What did you say, Earthy?
If you please, sir. This man has nothing to do with me. I never saw him before.
What did you say?
I don't like the way you treat women. And I'd advise you to improve your manners.
And where have you been brought up, Earthy? Here's lesson number 1.
Why, you...
My arm! Let go! Sergeant, Ironic whip!
Oh, no, no!
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're all right now.
What happened?
They gave you full power and a neuronic whip.
Where are we?
The military base. Oh, you should...
Is that...
Well, Dr. Abaddon, we seem to have had an unpleasant contretemps in the city this afternoon.
Unpleasant? I should put it stronger, Colonel. As a free citizen of the Empire, I had every right to resent such illegal treatment.
I consider the whole incident unfortunate, Doctor. Don't you think it would be best to forget the whole matter?
I think not. I have an appointment in a week with the procurator.
Procurator, huh?
What do you intend doing with Miss Schecht?
What would you suggest, sir? I had...
Free her immediately. And offer her your apologies.
Of course. If the young lady will accept my sincere regrets, I will give the order for your release immediately.
I don't understand. They've just turned us loose.
Of course.
You must be very important. I never heard of the outsiders being that polite to an Earthman before.
I'm not an Earthman, Paula.
What?
I'm an archaeologist from the outside.
Oh. Well, then you stood up to the soldiers because you knew it was safe all along. And I thought... Oh, I should have known.
Paula, does my not being an Earthman make me any different from 5 minutes ago?
You might have told me, sir.
If you don't mind, don't call me sir. Don't be like the rest of them.
Like the rest of whom, sir? The rest of the disgusting animals that live on Earth?
Please, Paula.
If you'll excuse me, sir, I must leave.
Oh, wait. Paula! Listen to me, Paula! I had access to the garrison files, and to satisfy idle curiosity, I indexed Paula Schecht. Her father was a Dr. Mikhail Schecht, biologist, and against his name was a black star with the notation, condemned in absentia. Charge, evading the 60. That was why she was afraid. So I sent a note asking her to meet me in the North Park after dark.
Paula, over here.
Dr. Haverdan?
Sit down.
Oh, I want you to understand. I wouldn't have come except...
I understand. I've seen your father's record.
You know about it.
I looked into it, Paula. There doesn't seem to be much that can be done about the 60.
Oh, it isn't that. It's not for my father. It's for the whole galaxy.
What is it?
Earth is going to revolt.
No. All of it?
Oh, don't laugh at me.
Paula. The galaxy has a volume of several million cubic light years. It contains 200 million inhabited planets. Earth has a population of only 20 million. And no resources. What can Earth do?
I don't know, Doctor, but my father does. He's told me that Earth knows a way by which it can wipe out all outside life and... Wait. Listen. Someone coming. Park Patrol. Quick, kiss me. Don't be stupid. Kiss me. They won't suspect anything.
Oh, yes, of course. Paula.
They've gone. It's all right. Now come with me. I'll take you to my father.
Dr. Haverdan, this is a pleasure. I have read your articles in the journal. It is hard to get copies. Our neighbors don't care to trade with Earth. It's part of the nearly insoluble problem of anti-terrestrialism.
No one seems to want a solution. Earthmen and outsiders alike?
Oh, no, that is not true. There is a way of preserving our culture and living as equals in a larger society. But the zealots don't think so.
The zealots?
Yes. They rule Earth now. They are a small minority, but they have power. They have plans.
They planned the revolt, Paula told me?
Yes.
I see. Well, why didn't you report this to the Imperial garrison?
The Society of Earth Ancients have guarded me too well. Besides, they had a hold on me. I am 62. You know the customs of Earth.
The 60 years.
They allowed me to live on. The price was silence about the weapon.
You agreed to this?
I wanted to live.
What is this weapon?
You are aware of Earth's peculiar environment, the radioactivity?
Yes.
Over the years, we Earthmen have built up certain immunities to radiation burns, for one.
But it's a minute difference. I measured it experimentally.
But, Doctor, human life is not the only form affected by radiation and mutation. There is microscopic life, bacteria, viruses. We have been searching out such a virus, one to which Earthmen have developed a high degree of immunity, but not outsiders.
You mean a particular disease?
Yes, common fever. It is a mild children's disease here, like chickenpox or German measles. But to outsiders, it is radiation fever. Symptoms develop in 2 hours. Lips are so badly affected that the victim cannot talk, and in 2 days, he dies.
They've isolated this virus?
Tons of it in crystalline form.
And they plan to let this loose in the galaxy?
By means of guided missiles. Then frightened refugees will carry the disease across space, and billions will die.
You're sure about this? You have proof?
I worked on the project.
We've got to get to the Procurator. I can catch the evening trainer. Who is it?
I don't know.
Open up.
There should have been an alarm.
We've got to get out. Is there a back
Open up
entrance?
the door. No. Don't move. Hands in front of you.
What's the meaning of this? I demand...
Shut up.
I'm a galactic citizen. You've got no right to detain me without legal authority.
I am an Earthman, but I think you'll find I am all the authority needed at this moment, Dr. Haverdan. I am Balkis, the High Minister of Earth.
The High Minister? What are you doing?
I always look after distinguished visitors personally.
Haverdan does not know anything.
I doubt that, Dr. Schecht. We will proceed now to the Hall of Correction.
You can't do this. When the Procurator...
The Procurator will hear nothing until it is too late. The guided missiles will be fired tonight at 12. Guard, if they make a false move...
you scream?
Well, you...
There, coming down the street. Imperial Patrol.
Oh, it's no use.
Do what I say. Scream. Go ahead.
Hold it. They're outsiders. You're right. That's the Imperial Patrol.
All right, Earthy. What's going on here?
Good morning, Sergeant. Sir? Earthy? You don't understand. I'm Borkus, the Lord High Minister of Earth.
Listen, Earthy, I don't care who you are. What's going on?
Yes, sir. We've arrested these people.
What charge?
Blasphemy.
All right, get moving.
Thank you.
Sergeant,
What do you want, Earthy?
I'm a galactic citizen. I demand the right...
You? May we proceed, sir?
Listen, Sergeant. I've something more to say to you.
What?
This.
No Earthy's going to get away with this.
Get a squad car! But, Sergeant, I'm the Lord Minister of Earth.
Tell him about it at the Imperial Barracks. Now move, all of you, before I give you a shot of the whip.
I tell you I'm a citizen of the Empire.
Listen.
I can prove it. You'll get into a lot of trouble if you don't believe me.
I'll admit no Earthy would dare spit in my face.
It was the only way I could get to the garrison. I insist on seeing the officer of the day.
I sent for him. You better have a good story. Attention!
That easy. Which one of you claims he's a citizen of the Empire?
I am.
Bella, it's the one from the store.
You, eh? The smart louse that broke my arm. Well, well, well.
I've got to see the colonel, Lieutenant.
Now, Dr. Abadan, I could hardly do that unless it's important.
It is important. It's life and death for the galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Come here. Closer. Oh, it's too bad I've got to save you for the colonel.
What?
He'll see you at 5:30, his orders.
You knew all along.
Sure. Come on, Earthy lover.
I'm afraid you're in serious trouble, Dr. Abadan. The man you're accusing is the High Minister for Earth.
I know, but I have proof.
Well?
I can only speak to the procurator. You've got to contact him.
There are channels, Dr. Abadan.
We haven't time for channels. I have the details of the plot from Dr. Schecht. You've got to let me speak to the procurator.
I've already advised him of your arrest. He's flying in. You'd better be able to prove what you say. If you don't, we'll have to hand you back to the native authorities and their courts, notoriously savage.
Well, Abadan, I've called you here with His Excellency, the High Minister for Earth.
My lord, this man is behind the whole plot.
Is he?
There's no time to lose. I've explained to you about the virus. They're shooting off the guided missiles at 12. You've got to take action.
Well, Your Excellency, my lord, if this man has any evidence...
You admitted it this afternoon.
You have no witness to that.
Ask Dr. Schecht. He worked on the virus.
I wouldn't say that Schecht lied, my lord, but he is a criminal wanted for evading the 60, and some men will invent any story to avoid death.
The deadline is midnight. You've got to bomb those temples where the launching sites are.
Perhaps I can explain. According to my information, Dr. Abadan seems to have succumbed to a certain Earth girl, the daughter of the unfortunate Dr. Schecht. Is this true, Abadan?
What has that got to do with it? There isn't any time. You've got to do...
Dr. Abadan, are you in love with that girl?
Yes. Will you listen to
I
me?
don't think we need pursue this any further. Your Excellency, I shall order you released with an apology.
No.
Dr. Abadan, I can hardly believe a degenerate who fraternizes with Earth women.
You scum, you pot-bellied scum.
I warn you, Abadan, you're in trouble enough.
I'm in trouble. You fool, you stupid, blind, bigoted fool. You're destroying the galaxy. You're murdering them all. But before I die, I'll have the pleasure of smashing your fat, oily face in. Let me go. Guard the whip.
Belle, are you all right?
Paul. What? time is it?
1:30. Past the deadline. It's all over. Lord Ennius released the High Minister with an apology.
It doesn't matter. The Empire can wipe Earth out. It won't save any lives. The virus must have been spread here, too. Earthmen are immune, but outsiders...
Well, you're an outsider.
Yes,
Oh,
I am. We're paying, Paula. The rest of us. Paying for centuries of intolerance.
oh, Bill.
Look out there. Through the bars. The night sky. Pinpoints of light. The Empire. Doomed.
Oh, Bill. Bill, don't.
I was just thinking. I came to Earth to prove a theory that man started here. That once in prehistoric times, Earth was the only populated world of the galaxy. It's funny. Now it will be that way again. Man living only on Earth. He'll forget the science, the machinery of the Empire. He'll forget the stars. There will be only Earth. Alone in the universe. A pebble in the sky.
The children of tomorrow will play with toys. But what will those toys be like? An ordinary clerk in an ordinary job finds a terrifying answer to that question next week as Dimension X brings you Child's Play.
Dimension X is transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X has presented Pebble in the Sky, dramatized for radio by Ernest Kanoy. Featured in the cast were Santos Ortega as Abaddon and Susan Douglas as Pola. Your host was Norman Rose, music by Bert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in Time and Space. Transcribed in future tense.
Dimension
The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X. In these times, even a child knows the meaning of atomic fission, jet propulsion, and electronic transmission. What, we ask ourselves, will the child of the future know? What of the time when science unlocks the secret of life itself? Could it be that one day, such things as constructing human life or passing back and forth from one dimension to another will become mere child's play?
My name is Sam Weber. I'm an attorney, and a pretty successful one, if I do say so myself. My wife Tina and I live in a comfortable 12-room place up in Westchester. Now, I've read a lot of Horatio Alger stuff in my time, and so have you probably, but I'll bet you've never heard anything quite as spectacular as my story. Maybe you won't believe it, but I used to be a completely different guy. Frightened, sickly, nearsighted, a real Mortimer Meek. No kidding. That was 5 years ago. The big change in me began to take place on a cold December morning in 1945.
Just a moment, please. Yes, please.
Weber?
Yes.
Samuel?
That's right.
Step back. Okay, fellas, bring it in.
Oh, just a moment. You must have the wrong address.
Watch it, buddy. All right, sign here.
Is, that for me?
Weber Apartments.
Looks like a coffin.
I don't design them, Jack. I just deliver them. Sign here.
After much straining, I wasn't in very good physical shape those days, I managed to push the box under my single light bulb. There was a card in a small envelope.
Let's see. To Sam from your classmates at the Interdimensional and Cosmic Institute. Merry Christmas. 2145 A.D. Holy jumping catfish. Hey, mister, there must be some mistake. Hey! Holy jumping catfish.
They were gone, and I didn't even know which delivery company it was. Well, I finally decided to open it up and see what was in it. After about a half hour of fumbling, I gave up.
All right, then don't open.
No sooner had I said the word open than it came apart like the skin off a banana. There inside was something resembling a kid's chemical set. Vials, jars, tubes, wires. You never saw so much scientific-looking junk in your life. And on top of it all was a book of instructions.
Build a man set number 3. This set is intended solely for uses of children between the ages of 11 and 13. The equipment will enable the child to build and assemble complete adult humans in perfect working order. A disassemblator is provided so the set may be used over again. Refills and additional parts may be acquired from the Build-A-Man Company, 928 Diagonal Level, Blunt City, Ohio. Remember, only with Build-A-Man can you build a man.
When I left for work that morning, my brain was still reeling with the stuff I'd read in the instruction book.
Some says no, Jack, attorneys at law. Just a moment, I will connect you with Mr. Ojack. Oh, good morning, Mr. Weber.
Good neuron. I mean, good morning. Gotta get my mind off that book.
Only with Build a Man can you build a man. Chapter 1, Making Simple Living Things. Chapter 2, Duplicating Babies and Other Small Humans.
Oh, no. I've got to get a grip on myself. Do a little work. O'Brien versus O'Brien. Martin versus the city of New York. Oh, it must have been a dream. Probably go home tonight and find the place empty.
Well, if it isn't the poor man's Clarence Darrow.
Oh. Hello, Lou.
I come as a bearer of sad tidings.
Well, you don't look very sad.
The boss wants to see you, laughing boy.
What about?
How should I know? Oh, and by the way, you'll be very happy to know that I've just been promoted. I'm handling all the criminal stuff from now on.
Congratulations.
You know what this means for Tina and me, don't you, Junior? Oh, well, cheer up. Tina's not for you anyway. Some got it, some don't. I got it, you don't. So long, laughing boy.
That was my good friend, Lou White. In the year I'd known him, he'd already managed to steal a job I wanted, and he was now working on the girl I wanted. Her name was Tina. Tina Velvet.
Good morning, Sam.
Oh, good morning, Tina. My, you look good enough to
Yes?
take to lunch.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam, but I promised Lou.
Oh, sure.
I hope you're not too disappointed.
Me? Oh, no. Some got it, some don't. I don't.
And that was Tina. I tried to steady my blood pressure as I walked into the boss's office.
You sent for me, Mr. Ojak?
Oh, yes. Sit down, Weber. Sit down.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ojak.
Weber, I've been reviewing the work of my staff counselors for the past 6 months. I want to know only one thing.
Yes, sir?
What happened?
I don't understand.
You haven't had a single new client in 6 months.
But no one has come in, Mr. Ojak.
My boy, in this business, you've got to be aggressive. You've got to go out and create new clients. You've got to show some zip.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any zip?
Oh, yes, Mr. Ojak. Oh, I've got zip, all right. I just can't seem to turn it loose, that's all.
Well, get in there and punch now, Weber. I want to see a change in you in the next few months. As a matter of fact, I'd better. You got that?
Yes, Mr. Ojak. I'll try to show some zip.
I left the office early and went home. Sure enough, there it was, my Build-A-Man set, gleaming a little obscenely in the corner. I walked over to it, gave it a kick, and hollered,
"Open sesame."
3 minutes later, I was flopped down in bed reading
Chapter 1, Making Simple Living Things.
An hour later, I was fooling around with such complicated items as the Junior Biocalibrator, which measured everything from blood pressure to hemoglobin content, and the Jiffy Vitalizer, which was actually supposed to put life in your creation, providing you had followed instructions carefully. At 8:30, I made my first simple living thing.
Here, boy. Oh, maybe you aren't a boy. Well, let's see. According to the book, you are a rubicular oyster hog. Not much to look at, but I made you. Me, Sam Weber, attorney at law. I have created life. Hey, come back here. Come back. Here, boy. Hey.
It was no use. My rubicular oyster hog, which was a cross between a field mouse and an oyster, had run out under the door and into the world. I was about to take off after it when there was a knock on my door. It was Mrs. LaPanty, my landlady.
Oh, hello, Mrs. LaPanty.
I heard a noise.
Oh, just rehearsing a speech I have to make in court.
You was quickin'.
A bad throat.
Oh. Oh, by the way, there was a gentleman looking for you this afternoon.
A gentleman?
Yeah, a tall old man in a black overcoat. Kind of nasty. When I told him he wasn't in, he wanted to go up to your room. Tell you I showed him the way out in a hurry.
Oh, thanks, Mrs. LaPanty. Probably a bill collector.
Yeah. Well, I gotta run.
Oh, good morning, Sam. Here's that memo on Rosenthal versus Rosenthal and also a letter for...
What's the matter? You look tired.
Oh, I had a bad night.
You lumbago again?
Yes.
Oh, say, by the way, your client was here again this morning.
The client?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it must be the same fella that called at my house the other day.
Yeah.
Well, what did you tell him?
Oh, I said you'd be in later.
Oh, thanks.
Will that be all, Sam?
Yes. Oh, no. Are you doing anything New Year's Eve?
Oh, Sam, you haven't even noticed.
Notice what?
Well, the ring, silly. Third finger, left hand.
What?
Lou gave it to me. Isn't it simply gigantic?
But you're not
We're going to be married as soon as Lou finishes his next case. Lou is so sharp and businesslike.
So is a guillotine.
Sam, after Lou gave me the ring last night, I began thinking how I used to hope that it would be you. But, well, then I realized you'd never have the money, and, well, a girl has to think of things like a good, steady income and a husband with...
Zip.
Yes, with zip.
Well, Lou has plenty of zip. I'm sure you'll be very happy zipping around with each other.
Oh, Sam.
Well, Sam, Hey, what's going on in here? Honey, is this little baboon giving you any trouble? If he has, I'll take him apart like an egg crate.
No. Take it easy, Strongheart. Tina just told me the good news about your engagement. She's crying with happiness.
Is that right, honey? Well, then, no hard feelings, Sam. Just that the best man got the girl, you understand. Oh, say, by the way, we're having a little celebration at Segali's tonight. Drop in and we'll live it up a little, huh?
I went home feeling like a man who has been stuffed into a washing machine with the dial set at rinse dry. I was a failure. I walked over to the mirror for a heart-to-heart talk with myself.
Nothing. That's what you've got, Sam Weber, in unlimited quantities. Nothing. We ought to just tear you down and start all over again. We ought to take you... Hey. Oh, no, not that again. But why not? Think of it. A Sam Weber without the psychological problems you've got. A dynamic, uninhibited Sam who could win a girl like Tina by sheer magnetism. Then when it was all over, we could just take the old disassemblator and presto. And I can do it, too. Chromosome content. Check. Cerebral content. Maybe a little more id and a little less superego. Limbs, eyes, hair, general endocrine reaction. Well, here goes. It's moving. Holy mackerel, it's alive. It's getting up.
Say, I feel great.
Oh, now, take it easy. Do you know who you are?
Of course I do. I have all the thoughts you ever had up until the point I was vitalized. My brain is an exact duplicate of yours, except that I'm not all blocked up psychologically.
It said in the instruction manual you'd be uninhibited.
Say, this is all right. Oh, by the way, since we both have the same name, it'll simplify things. If I call you Weber, I'll be Sam.
Oh, now look here. I'll make the decision.
How would you like a good punch in the nose?
Well, is that any way to talk to your own parent? I did create you, you know.
Well, don't think I don't appreciate it, Weber, old man, but let's get one thing straight. I live my life and you live yours. You got that?
Who pays the rent?
You do, for a while anyway. I haven't decided whether or not I want to stay in the law business.
The law business?
I may want to spread out a little. Tina's the kind of girl to whom money is very important.
Tina?
Well, what did you expect? I have enough of your likes and dislikes to want her just as badly as you do. The only difference being that I can get her. No, we're not quite the same, you and I. I've got zip.
Don't use that word.
Now, how about some dinner? You know, I'm starved.
I'll have to go out.
I'll need some clothes.
Sorry, I only have this one suit.
Fine, you can lend it to me.
Well, what about me?
I'll bring you a sandwich after I come back from Segali's.
Segali's?
Well, you haven't forgotten, have you, Weber? We're invited to the celebration. Tina and Lou White. Only it wouldn't look quite right if we both showed up, so I'll tell you all about it. Now, off with that suit, and no nonsense.
Well, this is living it up, folks. Yahoo! Have another drink, Mr. Ochak.
Thank you, Lou.
Well, is everybody happy? Hey, honey, are you having yourself a little old time?
Oh, yes, Lou. Fine.
Yeah, but you seem to be preoccupied.
Oh, I was just wondering if Sam is coming.
Sam? Oh, no. Did you hear that, Mr. Ochak? She's worrying about Sam. Why, that little one probably got frightened by a noisemaker.
Well, the happy couple.
Sam!
Good evening, cats. Everybody's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Well, I'll be... Say, Sam, are you in the bag?
Never touch the stuff, Luma boy. Never touch it. Boy Scout training.
Oh, Sam, I was afraid you weren't coming.
Miss a chance to be with you, beautiful. Never.
Hey, what's got into you, Weber? Monkey glands?
I don't read you, muscle-bound.
Well, you seem different somehow, even your voice.
Do you notice anything, Tina?
Well, yes, it does seem richer somehow.
Oh, nonsense. Sam Weber, you're nothing but a cream puff, and you always will be.
Mr. Ojak, I think he owes me an apology for that.
I should think so.
All right, old American boy, make with the apology.
Apologize me? Oh, no. Why, for 2 cents?
Folks, would you excuse Mr. White and me for a few minutes? We want to step out into the hall for a little private conference. Coming, Mr. White?
I'll be right back, honey. Don't worry about a thing.
Okay, big boy, you've taken enough punishment. Now.
Sam! Lou, don't kill him. He did... Oh, dear.
He'll be all right in a little while, baby.
But did you... Oh, Sam.
See, now.
We really shouldn't kiss like this.
It's what you've always wanted, isn't it? Well, isn't it?
Oh, Sam.
By this time, he's probably kissing her. And there's nothing you can do about it, Weber, old man. Nothing. Hey, wait a minute. Where's that book of instructions? To disassemble a Build-A-Man model, merely focus the ray of the disassemblator device and press lever X. But that's murder, Counselor. Still, legally, in order to prove there's been a murder, you need a corpus delicti. And nobody even knows there is another Sam Weber. Oh, so you're finally home. I'm starved.
Sorry, Weber, old man, but very pressing business detained me.
I suppose you made a fool of me over at Segali's.
Oh, on the contrary.
What do you mean?
My boy, you are looking at a man who in one fell swoop has got himself a raise, a promotion, and a wife. At least she'll be my wife tomorrow.
Who?
Tina, of course.
I don't believe it.
I had to put on quite a show, but all around it was a real success. Mr. Ojak was so impressed, he called me aside and said he was going to give me a crack at some criminal cases. And if I made the grade, why, who knows, I may even accept a partnership.
You've got it all figured out, haven't you?
That's about it.
Only you neglected to consider one thing.
Oh, what's that?
This.
Hey, put that down.
Get back, you usurper, you. I'm going to melt you down like a Welsh rarebit.
Weber, you can't do that. It's murder. It's like killing your own son.
After what you've done to me, it's a pleasure.
I didn't ask to be brought into this world, but now that I'm here, I like it enough to want to survive.
Take off my suit, you phony. You won't be needing it again.
You're really going through with it, huh?
I am.
All right. Oh, here's your jacket. Give me that thing. Give it to me. That's better. Now we'll fix this little item so it can't do us damage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you see, Weber? You don't have the guts to stand up against the man you might have been.
Oh, what's that sound?
I don't know.
Seems to be inside the house.
Somebody's coming up the stairs. Listen. Take a peek through the keyhole, Weber.
Holy jump. It's him. Oh. The old man with the black coat. His eyes all black and shiny without any whites. Looks insane. Don't open it. He's burning it. He's burning a hole right through the door.
Good evening, gentlemen. As I feared, I'm too late to prevent you from duplication, Mr. Weber. And I see that you have destroyed the disassemblator. That means I shall have to do the job manually. An ugly task.
Well, who are you?
I am the census keeper for the 24th Oblong. You see, your Build-A-Man set was intended for one of the Weber children who is on a field trip in this oblong 200 years from now. Because of an unfortunate time warp, the set was delivered here accidentally.
You mean this set came here from 200 years from now?
Precisely. Time, as with all things, is relative. We shall have to recover the set, of course, and adjust any discrepancies it has caused. But meanwhile, the problem is Which of you two gentlemen is the original Sam Weber?
Oh, I am. Listen, liar.
Difficulties. Why cannot I ever have a simple case like a double conuplication?
Now, look here, Mr. Census Keeper. The duplicate will obviously be
Less stable and more emotionally unbalanced. Certainly, a man of your qualifications can decide which of us is the more valid member of society. Which of us will conform more readily to the standards
Naturally. I observe that one of you is naked.
Oh, wait a minute.
And you also seem to be trembling. Whereas this gentleman seems quite calm.
No, hold it. You're making a mistake.
I hardly think so.
No, stay away from me.
Please do not struggle.
Help, please.
Mr. Weber.
Yes.
It would be better if you didn't watch.
Of course.
Well, that's my story. Within 10 seconds, the old Sam Weber had been completely dismantled and packed into the box. Tina and I were married, and I went on to become a full partner in the firm of Ojack, Somerset, and Weber. Oh, and by the way, Tina and I have been doing quite successfully what the old Sam Weber and his Build-A-Man set made such a mess of. We have 1, 2, 3 little conuplications. Sam Jr., age 4, Sametta, age 3, and Samina, age 4 months. Good night.
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension
Time is a strange and mysterious dimension. Could we alter the future if we could travel back in time to our own youth? Next week, we bring you a story of a man who found the answer in Time and Time Again.
Dimension X is presented transcribed each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Today, Dimension X is presented Child's Play, written for radio by George Lefferts from the story by William Tenn. Featured in the cast were Leon Janney as Sam, Carl Weber as his alter ego, and Patsy Campbell as his girl. Your host was Norman Rose, music by Burt Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
In reply to many queries from our listeners, last week's story on Dimension X, Pebble in the Sky, was written by Isaac Asimov. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Thank you for visiting Golden Age Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned for more.
Nowadays, with all the processed foods, we face difficult choices in the supermarket. The best option is to do it yourself so that you know what you are eating. That's why EL4E.com posts old-fashioned recipes on their blog. You can find thousands of traditional recipes, just like Grandma used to make, and best of all, they are all free. Visit EL4E.com.
Enjoy the next show, starting now.
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, bring you Dimension X.
Tonight's story, First Contact, by Murray Limester. They had been in space 6 months now, moving with the incredibly faster-than-light speed of the overdrive. In 6 months, they had gone from Earth outward and outward to the crab-like nebula with the twin stars. A routine flight of exploration and scientific research.
Solid object about 90,000 miles away, sir.
Located, Dort. Exactly identified.
A small object, sir. Captain, I've never seen anything like this before. Whatever it is out there is coming toward us at an incredible speed and retreating to zero just as rapidly.
What's the mass of the object, Dort?
Well, it varies with the distance from us, sir.
Step up the scanners.
Nothing, sir. Absolutely nothing shows out there. And yet there must be something. Those alarms are foolproof.
Action stations, man all weapons. Condition of extreme alert in all departments immediately.
Captain, what is it?
Dort, I ran into the same thing once before on the Earth-Mars run. We were being located by another ship, and their locator beam was the same frequency as ours. Every time it hit, it registered as something solid and monstrous.
But, Captain, we're the only Earth ship in 18 light years around. How?
I didn't say it was another Earth ship out there, Dort.
Another race?
That's right. There's a spaceship out there, all right. But it's not manned by human beings.
It had been contemplated and speculated upon. Mathematically, it was almost a certainty that such a race existed. But in 18,000 Earth years, no human spaceship had ever encountered them. Now the situation was precipitated, and somewhere outside the Earth vessel, there was an alien race. Of what shape? Of what quality? Of what psychology?
It's moving, sir. Heading right for us.
At that speed, we'll be in touch in 10 minutes. Heading right for us, huh? Just what we'd do if a strange ship appeared in our hunting grounds. Friendly? Well, maybe. We'll try to contact them. We have to do that. But friendly? Thank the Lord for the blasters.
They may not be hostile, sir.
They may be. That's what I'm paid for. Put on this job for, to worry about the troubles that may never happen. To all hands, now hear this. A ship is approaching manned by an alien race. I'll give the signal for attack or defense if it be necessary. There'll be no move made unless I give the order. I do not wish to provoke trouble. Stand by.
Their ship is slowing down, sir. It's stopped.
Weapons Department, report. Weapons Department, report.
Alien ship remarked. Target fixed. Weapons alert.
Communications Department, report. Communications Department, report.
We're receiving a modulated short wave, sir. Frequency modulated. Apparently a signal. Not enough power to do us any harm.
We'll try to make some sense out of it. Report any progress to me immediately.
One thing in their favor, sir. They didn't attack immediately without question. They're trying to establish contact. That seems to indicate they're reasonable.
We'll see. What are they doing now? Can you make out the locator screen? Bring that power up.
They're doing something now, sir. There's a section of the hull opening. Probably an airlock, sir.
If they breathe there.
They're letting something out. It's round. A bomb, sir?
Unknown object released from alien ship. Observed by Weapons Department and targeted.
Stand by.
See what they're doing, sir? They've let the object out there right where they were. And now they're withdrawing the ship.
There's no reason why that object couldn't be a bomb, Mr. Dort. Intended to let us think precisely as you're thinking right now.
I just have a hunch, sir. I think they're friendly. I think whatever it is out there is a means of communication.
You're probably right, but I won't gamble the ship on a probability.
Sir, I'd like to volunteer to go out there and look that thing over.
You understand whoever does examine it is expendable?
Yes, sir.
Requisition a lifeboat.
If it's all right with you, sir, I'd prefer just a suit with the drive in it. It's smaller and the arms and legs won't make me look like a bomb. And I'll carry a scanner, sir.
You may leave when you're ready.
Thank you, sir.
I'm all ready. Clear the lock and let me out. Weapons Department reporting to the captain. Mr. Dort located. Mr. Dort is targeted.
Stand by. And that object out there is a device to capture one of our people for observation and questioning. It'll be blown out of existence, including Mr. Dort. Stand by. Mr. Dort. Mr. Dort. Report.
Object, as you can see on the scanner, sir, is covered with many small horns, like the detonating horns of the obsolete mines formerly used in naval warfare.
Is that their purpose, do you assume, Mr. Dort?
I'm going to find out, sir. I'm going to grab one.
Mr. Dort.
I'm here, sir. I don't think this is a mine.
Circle it so we can see it completely through your scanner.
Deadlock, sir. Nothing to report that the scanner hasn't shown you. Oh, wait a minute, sir. A section of the outer hull seems to be opening. Do you see it?
Very good, Dort. Hold that.
I'm sure it's a communications device, sir.
It looks like it. Fix your scanner so it'll focus on that communications device. Return to the ship. Communications Department. Progress report, please.
We've established communication, sir.
Is there a psychologist on the team down there with you?
Yes, sir. Mr. Burns is working with us.
Will both of you please report to the bridge at once? Oh, you look tired, Dort.
We've established fairly satisfactory communication, sir. They seem to have highly developed thought patterns. We got a satisfactory translation from the machine on the fourth attempt. We can say almost anything we want to say to each other now. Of course, how much of what they tell us is the truth, we have no way of knowing.
Mr. Burns, you're the psychologist. What do you think?
Well, I don't know, sir. They seem to be completely direct. They haven't let slip even a hint of the tenseness we know exists. They act as if they were setting up a means of communication for friendly conversation, but, well, there's an overtone that...
Yeah? Well, Mr. Burns, I have a decision to make. On the one hand, opening contact with the friendly people of a vastly different culture could only be beneficial to us of Earth. On the other hand, if they're hostile, I ought to blast them out of existence without any other preliminaries.
Oh, but, sir, you can't...
I'm not talking to you, Dort.
It's not warranted yet, sir.
Yes. Now, hear this, all departments. Hear this, all departments. This ship is on an extended alert. Provisions will be made so that personnel can have maximum rest and nourishment.
Communication continued by means of the artificial language set up arbitrarily between the Earthmen and the aliens, decoded by the mechanical decoders. Dort disobeyed orders. He lived on powerful stimulants so that he could stay with the communications machine. Talking to the aliens.
Other people. Are we being received?
We are receiving your message.
The chief of this ship wishes to speak with the chief of your ship.
The message is heard by the chief of this ship. The chief of this ship communicates that he will hear the message of the chief of that ship.
Go ahead, sir.
People of the other ship, I'd like to say the appropriate things about this first contact of two dissimilar civilized races, and of my hopes that a friendly intercourse between the two peoples will result.
People of that ship, what you say is all very well, but is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
That's all, sir. They stopped sending.
Very direct people. Very direct.
But, sir, I don't follow. I didn't know what that meant. You know, is there any way for us to let each other go home alive?
It means what it says, Dort.
Sir, what's to stop us from just cutting communication and leaving? And they can do likewise.
What's to stop us? Simply that whichever ship leaves first will be followed by the other. If they find Earth and get back to their own planet and we don't know where that planet is, Earth will be completely at their mercy. If they leave first, we'll follow them. We'll attempt to find their home planet. Dort, could you swear to any decision that the policymakers on Earth will come to?
Sir, even if they do follow us, the closer we get to home, the more of our ships and weapons they'll face. They'd never get away.
Well, how do you know that they can't communicate with their home planet without returning?
We can't, sir.
How do you know they can't?
I don't, sir.
So that's the situation. We'll sit out here, facing each other, trying to outguess each other, until time wears us out. And we'll have to face the fact. Either they destroy us or we destroy them. Navigation officer, attention. Navigation officer, attention. Every star map on this ship is to be prepared for instant destruction.
The chief of this ship wishes to know whether the chief of that ship can suggest an answer to the problem concerning us both.
Do you want me to answer that, sir?
I'll answer it myself. Tell me when to talk.
Now, sir.
I am giving that matter personal attention. Every effort will be bent to the solution of this problem. Will you consider a temporary truce in the meantime?
What would a truce gain? Could we trust you? Would you trust us? I suggest that we continue as we have up to this particle of time.
I agree. Sign off, George.
Weeks went by, and during the weeks, the exchange of information continued without let-up.
What particle of time are the people on that ship at?
The resting time. All rest except myself and others on alert duty.
Same on this ship.
You people of that ship are very similar in many ways. Do you have a family?
I have a mate.
I have a mate and 3 offspring. It is too bad for them as well as us to have to kill each other.
This ship can't see any way out of it. Can that ship?
If we could believe each ship, yes. Our chief would like it. But we can't believe you, and you are afraid that we do not tell the truth, although we do. This ship would trail you home if this ship were able to. That ship would do the same. But this ship feels sorry about it.
I believe you're a friend.
I share your belief and like you. But there is a possibility that you were put to make a trap for me. I will stop now and think it over.
Just sit down, Dort. Control yourself. We're all under tension. Doesn't do any good to pace like some caged animal.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, I've read the complete transcription of your conversations with this one alien. What does it prove, Dort?
Sir, these people are so much like us in their thinking. Well, sir, they're likable.
They're likable and they breathe oxygen. Their air is 28% oxygen instead of 20. They could do very well on Earth. It'd be a highly desirable conquest for them. Dort, I'm as set against violence as you are. I don't see any way out of this. And I think we've got to break the status quo. So if in 70 hours we don't see any other way, then I have no further choice. I'll blow them to bits.
Will that ship receive communications? Will that ship receive communications?
This ship is listening.
It seems to me better to communicate than to sit by the machine silently.
I would have called you, but you signed off before.
The problem goes around and around. I find no answer.
Perhaps we could turn our thoughts to other things.
The psychologist of this ship tells us that you people on that ship have a threshold of tolerance to tension. He tells us that you will be forced to take one action or another in a period of less than 100 time particles.
I have no communication on this matter.
But the ship is not trying to extract unwilling information from that ship. A truth is mentioned in passing.
A report of this conversation will be carried to the chief of this ship.
It will be so. We are prepared.
If only the people of this ship could meet in direct contact with the people of that ship, it might be better.
We could not communicate then. The communications machine is too large to carry from place to place. In direct contact, the peoples of the two ships would be further apart than now.
That's true.
I am sad. Much that is pleasant has passed between us.
I am sad, too.
We are not yet ready for each other.
We are not yet ready for each other.
It's hard, isn't it, Doc?
Well, Captain, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here, sir.
I've been here for quite a while. Eavesdropping, I'm afraid.
It's all right, sir. Nothing can be personal in a situation like this.
Yeah, that's right. How long is 100 time particles, Dort?
Pardon, sir?
That reference he made to us not being able to stand tension is interesting. Their psychologists seem to make more out of us than we do out of them, don't they?
Yes, sir. They hit the nail right on the head.
Yes, they do. I think, Dort, we'll just have to push our timetable up a bit. No further communication with the aliens under any circumstances. That's clear, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Sir, if they know so much about our psychology, isn't it possible that remark was intended to make us act more quickly?
Probable, Dort. Probable.
Well, why would they do that, sir? Why?
You tell me why, Dort.
All of a sudden, I have an idea, sir. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter how crazy. I'll listen to it.
Sir, I think these people are playing some kind of a joke on us.
Joke? A joke, Dort?
Yes, sir. Over and over again, I've noticed what I think is a sense of humor. A highly developed sense of humor. Do you recall when we went to all the trouble to set up a fictitious star map and then they just sent us back a mirror image of the same one? I think somehow they're playing a joke on us.
Well, maybe you're right. In which case, you've seen practical jokers, Dort. Their jokes aren't always funny. Sometimes they hurt people. All departments, man, instant alert. All departments, man, instant alert. Report instantly. Report instantly.
Weapons Department alerted.
Target, the enemy ship.
On target, sir.
Stand by. Fire!
They're gone, sir. Not a trace of them left. Not a tiny trace. Now we can go home.
Communications to Captain. Communications to Captain.
Report.
Sir, I'm picking up new signals. Same frequency as the original alien signal.
That's impossible. That ship was destroyed.
I'm receiving signals, sir.
Set the machine up. We'll be down there in a minute. Mr. Dort, come with me, please.
It's good to be on the way home. Yes, it is good. Do you suppose we'll ever figure out what happened to the other ship? Never. A blinding flash and they were gone. I suppose they couldn't figure a way out of the situation. An unstable people. They had no sense of humor to cope with the situation. They exploded themselves out of existence. It seems reasonable. They must have had powerful weapons to destroy themselves so completely. Yes, what a shame. In a way, I grew to like them.
This isn't meant for us, sir. I don't know what's happening, but I think we're overhearing a private conversation.
I understand, Dora. Be quiet, will you?
Many things might have come out of a relationship with that people.
They were describing a disease they call cancer. I think it is similar to the Fulgren syndrome. We might have helped them.
They might have helped us too. Well, too bad. We'll never find them again, I think. The odds of such a chance meeting in the vast space of the whole universe. There are no figures for such odds, are there?
Turn it up, Dort. Turn it up louder.
That's all there is, sir. The signal stopped there. Sir, I don't know how, but somehow when we fired at them, we didn't destroy them, but we did set up a condition whereby they've become invisible to us and we've become invisible to them.
Captain to engineering department. Halt, forward motion.
Captain, why are we stopping?
Listen, Dort, you say they're invisible. All right, they are. But they're not destroyed because we just heard them. They're out there somewhere. Invisible.
Well, you heard them, sir. They're heading for home. We're invisible to them, too, sir.
How do you know, Dort? How do you know this whole thing isn't a setup?
Well, suppose that's true, Captain. You heard their conversation. They weren't talking like any monstrous people. They seemed decent and warm, just as decent and warm as we are.
How do you know this conversation wasn't planned, deliberately set up for us to hear? How do you know that, Dort?
Yes, sir, you're right. They may be out there and they may not. They may be telling the truth or they may be trying to trick us. They may be friends or they may be the most deadly enemies.
You said they had a sense of humor, Dort. What a joke to play. To deliberately set up a situation where we wouldn't know fact from fantasy, truth from lie. Wouldn't that be a joke, Dort?
Yeah, but we don't know that they did that, sir.
And we don't know that they didn't. We don't know anything.
Sir, does that mean we never go home again?
I don't know. I have to think about it. I have to think about it.
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of...
Dimension X.
Dimension X is presented each week by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of the magazine Astounding Science Fiction. Your host was Norman Rose, music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Fred Way.
First Contact, written by Murray Leinster and adapted for radio by Howard Rodman. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, Bob Hastings, Clark Gordon, William Malley, and Stan Early. Your announcer, Fred Collins.
The OTRR Group is a community of enthusiastic fans, avid listeners, and strong supporters of old-time radio. The group's goals include restoring, preserving, and sharing the classic shows from what is commonly known as the Golden Age of Radio, 1930 to 1960. The OTRR Group, comprised of a diverse worldwide group of volunteers, has undertaken many ongoing projects and continues to work hard to preserve our wonderful radio heritage. Visit www.otrr.org for more information.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to take your English skills to new heights? Look no further. It's time to meet Rob, your ultimate ESL tutor. With years of experience and a passion for teaching, Rob is here to help you shine in the world of English communication. Imagine speaking fluently, writing with confidence, and understanding English like never before. Rob's personalized approach ensures that your learning journey is tailored to your unique needs and goals.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I can't thank Rob enough.
His dynamic and engaging lessons have turned learning English into a fun adventure. I've gained the confidence to express myself clearly and connect with people from all over the world. Thanks, Rob.
Did you hear that? Rob's energetic teaching style ensures that each session is packed with interactive activities and real-world scenarios, making learning enjoyable and effective.
Hey there, I'm Antonio. Learning English used to be a struggle for me until I met Rob. His expertise in grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation has been a game changer. Now, I feel more capable and confident in using English in both my professional and personal life.
Wow, it's amazing to hear how Rob has positively impacted so many lives. From overcoming language barriers to achieving professional success, Rob's dedication to his students shines through in their success stories. Ready to experience the Rob difference? Contact Rob today and embark on a journey that's filled with progress, empowerment, and a whole lot of fun. Don't miss out on the opportunity to learn from the best in the business. Remember, with Rob as your ESL tutor, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So why wait? Contact Rob now and take the first step towards mastering English like never before. Rob, your partner in English success. Enroll today and let the learning begin.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm a native ESL tutor, graduate from East Carolina University, USA. With over 10 years of experience, I have helped many students improve their English language skills, and I can do the same for you. I believe that learning a language should be fun and engaging. I strive to create a comfortable and supportive learning environment for all my students. To book a session with me or to learn more about ESL tutoring services, visit my website, el4e.com, or send me an email, esl@el4e.com. That's esl@el4e.com. I look forward to hearing from you and helping you to achieve your language goals.